black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. I put it down from the whip to my diamonds. I'm in black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. Black stripe, yellow paint. I hear they scared of it, but them pros ain't. Soon as I hit the club, look at the move face. Hit the pedal once, make the floor shake. Sway inside, my engine roaring. It's the big boy, you know what I paid for it. And I got the pedal to the metal. Got you out here checking game, I'm balling out on every level. Hear them haters talk, but there's nothing you could tell them. Just made $1 million, got another $1 million on my schedule. No love for them, boy, I'm breaking hearts. No keys, push to start. Yeah, you know what it is. Everything I do it big. Yeah, screaming that's nuts. When I pulled off the lot, that's stunt. Reppin' my town, when you see me, you know everything. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. I put it down from the whip to my diamonds. I'm in black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. Got a call from my jeweler, this just in. And women love me cause I'm messing with their best friends. Not a lesbian, but she a freak though. This ain't for one night, I'm shining all week, bro. I'm sipping Clico and rocking yellow diamonds. So many rocks up in my watch, I can't tell what the time is. Got a pocket full of big faces. Throw it up cause everybody that I'm with tailored. Yeah, you know what it is. Everything I do it big. Yeah, screaming that's nuts. When I pulled off the lot, that's stunt. Reppin' my town, when you see me, you know everything. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yeah, you know what it is. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. Yeah, you know what it is. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. Yeah, you know what it is. Everything I do it big. Yeah, screaming that's nuts. When I pulled off the lot, that's stunt. Reppin' my town, when you see me, you know everything. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. I put it down from the whip to my diamonds. I'm in black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. Black stripe, yellow paint. I hear they scared of it, but them pros ain't. Soon as I hit the club, look at the move face. Hit the pedal once, make the floor shake. Sway inside, my engine roaring. It's the big boy, you know what I paid for it. And I got the pedal to the metal. Got you out here checking game, I'm balling out on every level. Hear them haters talk, but there's nothing you could tell them. Just made $1 million, got another $1 million on my schedule. No love for them, boy, I'm breaking hearts. No keys, push to start. Yeah, you know what it is. Everything I do it big. Yeah, screaming that's nuts. When I pulled off the lot, that's stunt. Reppin' my town, when you see me, you know everything. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. I put it down from the whip to my diamonds. I'm in black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. Got a call from my jeweler, this just in. And women love me cause I'm messing with their best friends. Not a lesbian, but she a freak though. This ain't for one night, I'm shining all week, bro. I'm sipping Clico and rocking yellow diamonds. So many rocks up in my watch, I can't tell what the time is. Got a pocket full of big faces. Throw it up cause everybody that I'm with tailored. Yeah, you know what it is. Everything I do it big. Yeah, screaming that's nuts. When I pulled off the lot, that's stunt. Reppin' my town, when you see me, you know everything. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yeah, you know what it is. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. Yeah,
the bot don't like me typing.
The test zone, and this is Griffin Gaming RPG, and we are back with my good friend, Mr. Archie Falcon. Say hey, Arch.
Yeah.
Yeah, good to see you, man. How you been?
Oh man, I've been great. It was a uh I can't tell you because I'm so excited about the where we came from and I saw you
Uh,
over there. So,
yeah, you got some good stories to tell. Let's get
oh
our
yeah.
third person in, Mr. Cosmic Trader. Cosmic, you on?
Yeah, welcome everybody. Welcome to the
Cosmic.
zone. I gotta tell you though, I'm going to apologize right up front for that ridiculous screeching noise.
That's our wonderful theme. I don't know why you don't appreciate it, Cosmic. I just don't understand. Well, listen, folks, we're glad to be back. It's been a little while since we were here. Last time we were here was after the launch of Update 3.2 for Star Citizen, and we are back now after Update 3.3, which hasn't gone public. It is on the public test, in the public test universe, and most of the people who are involved with Star Citizen have access to it right now. But the main thing we want to talk about this week is CitizenCon. Archie, you were just talking about that. We saw each other a week ago, right? We were in Austin, Texas, and
Uh
that was matter of fact, we were in Austin last year, right? For
yeah, we were in VerseCon.
VerseCon, right? And then the year before that, we were in LA for CitizenCon
Yeah,
29
that's what I
46.
met you.
Absolutely, that's when we met. And so once again, we were there. And I just want to get some feedback. I kind of titled this show "The Last of the Sitcon Reviews" because everybody else in streaming has already talked about it, and we're going to kind of encapsulate maybe some things we've heard, but also we had some time to digest 20s to this particular convention, and so hopefully we're going to share some things that maybe people missed or didn't see. Archie had the unique opportunity to be selected as a volunteer this year. And he was there ahead of time. He saw a lot of behind the scenes stuff. He was selected to be a photographer. Arch, why don't you give us a little bit of your perspective on what you thought about CitizenCon?
Oh, this gone. CitizenCon 2948 this year was great. Location was location was location. That was the best thing about it.
Yeah.
Everybody was able to get to it, easy to access from the what's that, 48 states?
Yep, as far as coming from, yeah, because we were more central, right? It's kind of hard for
Right.
folks on the East Coast to
Yeah.
get all the way to LA, but Austin made it a little bit more feasible for people on East and West Coast, yeah. And what was give us a little bit, I know you can't talk about everything, but what was the probably most exciting thing with getting to work, as a volunteer?
Uh, Getting to work with CIG people,
Okay.
great people to work with.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Getting to see the scenes behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Uh,
There's always this thing, Rich Archie, supposedly that they're kind of pushing. They're working really, really hard. They're kind of going to like almost a 24/7 schedule a few days before because they're trying to get everything ready for the convention. Did it seem like they were rushing, or did it feel like they had like everything was in order? Like you know what I mean? It wasn't like they were trying to scramble to get things done. Did it seem like it was really organized as far as the organizing goes, in
yeah,
preparation?
it was pretty organized. It seemed that we were pushed a lot, but that's the part of the game. I mean, I was actually an employee. I was actually working as a contractor,
Right. And my understanding, the
and
toughest job you guys had, one of the toughest jobs you guys had, was putting the big Benny's boxes together. Is that right?
yeah, right here,
You got one? Awesome. Now that may not seem like a big deal, right? It's a regular like Chinese restaurant takeout box, right? But what was so
it's the same
difficult
thing.
about? Yeah, but what's so difficult about it? Is it because it looks simple? Is it is not? Because I heard you guys had to put on gloves and do all types of stuff for that.
Yeah, the guys that put this up together, they had to wear gloves because it's a health thing, and you just have to bend. You just have to know how to bend the cardboard, and then put it together.
Once you get the technique down, it's not so bad, right? Can you hold it up for us to see it a little bit? Hold it up a little bit in the camera. Okay, so that's how it starts out. Okay, and then you have to fold it a certain way, put the wire cord in there, the wire hanger, right? And then you're good to go. And you got a nice clean one. You don't want to see what mine looks like. Do you want to see what mine looks like?
Yeah, the one that you have food in it. Yeah.
Mine, I tried to clean it as best I could. It didn't work out so good.
Yeah, I know.
But anyway, Cosmic, you still there?
I am indeed.
Yeah,
Yes.
give us. You were a viewer. You kind of were in the sitting from the viewer's position of this year's sitcom. What was your feeling about it?
Well, before I answer that, Rear Intruder wants to know when his 315P is going to have a HUD. He only has one ship. The answer to that will be very shortly because they're reworking the 300 series, and when they put them out in 3.4, you will have your HUD. Okay, right? Yeah, I want to give a shout out here because one of the things that excited me personally for CitizenCon was ArchieFalcon's soulmate was there, Daisy. And she's watching this. So, hello, Daisy. Welcome to the test zone.
Yeah, she is watching.
Hey, Daisy.
But anyway, yeah, it was great. I think it was one of the best that they've had in a long time, and I've always liked them. To me personally, and I can talk a little bit more about this later, I was excited to see the personal habitats. The metro system really got my juices going. Yeah, and they did the mission. All that stuff was real cool.
Yeah, it was. And we had a surprise, well, semi-surprise, because we already had heard rumors that there was going to be a new ship being launched called the Kraken. We had no idea what it was going to look like, but we did know that it was coming. But some of us, Cosmic, I think you and I, and I'm not sure if Archie did, but some of us had predicted that maybe there'd be something else that wasn't expected, and a lot of people didn't know it, and there was. And it was another ship called the Valkyrie. And we're going to show you guys the promo commercials for those a little later in the show. But just, Archie, real quick, off the top of your head, when you saw those two ships, what was your feeling about them? Did you feel like, oh my God, here's another ship, or were you kind of in the wow mode? How did you feel?
I was in the wow mode, but I couldn't talk about it.
Right.
I signed up.
Right. So once you all found out, once you all were there, you had to kind of just lay low until everybody else saw it, right? Right. What about you, Cosmic? Yeah.
Well, Griffin, you and Archie have been. There's a guy over here in chat saying hello to you guys, Mr. Gladestone. Hello,
hey, Glade. Hey.
Welcome to the test zone. Nice to see you.
Yeah, sorry, guys. I'm not looking at the screen right now. Give me a couple seconds. I'll start looking at comments, but I'm trying to do too much on my end.
Anyway, what was your question to me, Griffin?
Oh, just your feelings about when you saw the Valkyrie and the Kraken.
Oh, well, just over the moon. I'll tell the Valkyrie, I think, is going to be a wonderful ship for its purpose. I like it. I've been on it. I've flown in it. I've crewed in it. I've been in the turrets. It's a great ship. The Kraken. I just went head over heels in love the first time I saw it. If I could afford it, I'd have one. But the truth is, I've got a dozen of them because everybody needs crew members, and I can't wait to be on that thing.
Cosmic, release the Kraken.
To me, gentlemen, the Kraken is one of the best, most practical ships they have given to us. Whether you own it or not, you definitely got a crew on it because people need crews. So it is a practical ship, very practical. I love it. I love it dearly.
Definitely, and it's introduced a whole different aspect of gameplay for us, which is going to be great.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't make a difference whether you want to be a pilot, whether you want to be an engineer, whether you want to be a commander. I mean, there's going to be so many different roles that people can play on that particular ship. So it is definitely very, very exciting.
Do you want to know my two favorite roles that I got planned for it?
What's that?
Well, if you own any kind of an organization at all, or even if you're not in an org, if you have 10 buddies or more, it is a perfect, absolutely perfect mobile base.
Sure.
Okay? So something like Test Squadron. This thing makes a perfect mobile base. Okay? But if you're a person like me, this ship is absolutely perfect to make zillions of dollars going city bopping with because you're taking along your protection in the form of ships.
That's true.
Well, yeah.
This thing is a great city bopper.
Absolutely. Here's something that I'm going to toss out that I didn't get to talk to you about as far as what impressed me. If you guys see our background this time, we always try to change our background every once in a while. And this time, our background is what they call the rest stop. We used to call it the truck stop because that was something to identify with. But it's a space rest stop. It's a space station. And it's one of the things that was really incredible about this was not only did it introduce this whole idea of a landing zone when you're jumping from one system to another. But if you notice in the background, there are actual characters, NPCs, avatars that are walking about. And this is the first time that we've had this introduced in the game. So there's the feeling that life is coming to these different areas in the game is something that's also bringing another level of excitement. For those of you who don't know it, the Star Citizen universe is supposed to be occupied by only 1/10 of players, of human players. So 90% of the things that you see walking around and talking will be NPCs that act intelligently, that respond to you, that are aware of you. It's a different type of technology called subsumption that we are learning more and more about each year. And it's been, so far, it's been good. It's got its quirks and it's got its little bugs in it, but we get where the designers and developers are going with this. And so, keep looking forward to more stuff in that area. We're going to take a quick, quick Cosmic.
Gentlemen, before you take a quick break,
yeah,
real quickly, Printimus would like to know how long each of us have been in Test Squadron. I've been in slightly over 2 years.
Same with me.
I feel like it's been since 1842. I don't know. I think I started in Star Citizen in late 2013, early 2014, and I want to say it was 2015 when I signed up with Test. I've kind of forgotten now, but it's 2 to 3 years.
So there you go.
Yeah,
2
to 3
2.5
years.
to 3 years for all of us, pretty much.
Something like that, yeah.
Thank you for asking questions, fellas. We'll do our very best to answer them for you.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to go to our first commercial, and we're going to talk a little bit about this commercial because this was something that we didn't know was going to happen either, but we knew it was coming. But
Rear intruder right now. NPCs wear yellow spacesuits.
All right, we'll be back for questions in a minute, and we'll be right back, guys.
It all started with a dream. A need to challenge the conventions of our time. To look at the well-worn path ahead and decide to take another route. What is life if not the culmination of all decisions we've made and the roads we've traveled? We decide to seek out the unknown. Or take a stand against the unjust in the universe. We are all chasing who we are, who we want to be. Which begs the question, why choose it all? Introducing the all-new Alpha, Beta, Delta, Gamma. 2948 Mustang. Dream redefined for the modern era.
Well, we can always count on good old Consolidated Outland. Those are
I like
the
that.
upgrades, right?
I like that Mustang. I have.
You have, Archie. How many? Let's hear it. You got 2?
Yeah.
That's all you have of Mustangs? I thought you were going to say you had 2 of each Mustang. I would have been like not surprised. No, just 2? Okay, I've got a Beta. I think, Cosmic, you got a Beta, right?
Many Mustangs now.
How many?
I don't have any.
You don't have any now. You had.
I had a Beta, but the day they told me that the Beta would not carry any cargo was the day I CCU'd it up to a Avenger.
Ah, okay, nice. Okay,
you see, I got to tell you real quickly, my opinion is the Beta is we all call it a camper van.
Right.
What good is a camper van if you can't make enough money to buy fuel?
If you can't make cargo, yeah.
Yeah, you got to be able to carry at least one cargo unit to pay for the fuel.
Yeah,
otherwise it's useless.
Unfortunately, that becomes one of the things with game development where things do change and sometimes not for the better. So hopefully CIG will hear the cries of the community and maybe make some changes.
I told them to jack up the shock absorbers a foot so we could put a cargo unit under it.
There you go.
I got my buddy here with me.
I see. There you go, your co-pilot. I see him.
Yeah.
Awesome. Listen, what we didn't get to do on the last part, which I forgot, it was my fault, was that we were going to take a look at some pictures from CitizenCon, and I do still want to do that. So, Archie, Cosmic, you guys can kind of help me. But Archie, this first picture is probably one that you could respond to, and this was taken, I guess, when you guys were getting ready for CitizenCon to get going. Give me some background about, because we were at the Long Center in Austin, right?
Uh-huh.
And looks like that was maybe a room where the volunteers were at. Is that right?
Well, that is the area where registration was going to be at, and eventually it was.
Okay, no, registration was outside. That's inside. Let's see the computer. They're inside in some place with tables.
Oh, the top left.
Yeah, not the bottom one. Yeah, the
corner.
bottom one is where
That's-
registration was outside. Yeah, what about
That
the
was
upper
the
one?
barbecue, but that was a test barbecue at the park
Is that what that is?
on Thursday. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't see any food or anything, so I thought that was a part of maybe the volunteer area. I had the wrong idea on that picture. No problem. So you guys were doing all that setup and stuff outside. When we registered, we got our T-shirts, we got our badges. Everything was done outside the Long Center. This next
that's
photo
at the barbecue.
is at the barbecue. Okay.
The picture top left, it's a Bar Citizen. What's that? Bar
at Hooters.
Citizen.
No,
or
that's at
Citizen
Hooters,
Bar?
right? That's at Hooters.
Oh, Hooters. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's at Hooters.
And on the right side there, for you guys who know who this, on the left, we all know who that is. That's our infamous fearless leader, Montoya. In the right corner, that's Rattle and Hum. Rattle lives in Texas, and he was gracious enough at the test barbecue to provide brisket. He did some incredible brisket that I only heard about because my flight left that morning. I didn't get to taste it, but I could imagine everybody ranted and raved about how great the barbecue was that he hosted.
Oh
for
God,
us.
it was delicious.
Yeah. And who's the other people? Who's down there with you, Archie, in that picture?
Well, that's Red Wolf.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know who's the gentleman in the back, but he's a testy. They're
Oh,
all
the testy?
testies in
Okay.
that picture.
All right. Awesome. Yep. That you also had that on. That was on Thursday, right? The day after.
Yes, that Thursday.
Okay, that was the day after CitCon. The next picture is a picture I really want to get some answers for. Maybe somebody can explain it. I don't know if Montoya is on board, but
Daisy was in that picture too.
oh, Daisy was too. In that picture on the left, it seems like that's one of our testies paying homage to, Montoya. I don't know exactly what that picture was about. And on the picture on the right, that's Cepheus,
Yes.
one of our lead members, and he has a Intel Optum drive in his hand. And I'm getting the impression that he must have won that while he was
well, he
there.
finally got it because he was supposed to get it last time, but something must have happened that he finally got his. Oh, he
It's a
was
contest or something.
I'm telling you, he was a kid in a candy store.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Now, here's something that we all were caught off guard with, and that was the Big Benny's food truck. They had food trucks lined up outside for us, and they actually had a food truck totally decked out, painted out with the whole Big Benny's piece to it, the marketing. They had food that was Big Benny's food. There was a shrimp one, there was a beef one, there was a tofu one of real food that was provided. You could see inside the box there. You could see a little bit of it inside. I thought it was just a joke, but I'm like, wow, they actually came up with a recipe. And I was treated by one guy who was an investor. He said, "Hey, I'll buy you lunch." He said, "Get whatever you want." So I got one, and the food was actually good, Archie. It wasn't.
I know
good.
because I ate it.
You had some too?
It was delicious.
Awesome. And like I said, that was a part of the marketing. We've seen it in the game, but boom, there was there. Here's a couple of familiar faces that both Archie and I got to hook up with. Yeah, Archie, you know who that is. Why don't you tell everybody who that is?
Sandy, a
Sandy
good friend
Gardner.
of mine.
Yeah, good friend of yours. Yeah.
And then you got Brian Chambers and yourself.
That was myself with Brian Chambers, and that's Lefty. Oh, Lefty, from some test. Yeah, we were that was taken the night before at the Star Citizens Bar Citizen. They had a VIP area on the upstairs area, and Brian, well, there's several people that were in that area, and it was mostly a lot of streamers were up there. But Brian, as always, is very friendly. He came around, spoke to everybody. They made stops, and in fact, originally there was only going to be one location for a bar center. Bar Citizen. There ended up being 3. We had 2 other places for overflows. Test Squadron ended up going down to Vulcan, which was about a block down from there. And man, that seemed like everybody drifted down there because when we first got there, it was hardly anybody. Then next thing you know, the place was packed. Yeah, it was packed. So it was really, really good.
Can I make a quick comment?
Sure, absolutely.
Montoya told me that he and a few of the testies managed to get one of the balconies up above. And what impressed me was when he told me who was in the balcony with him. One of the guys was one of my favorite people, Disco Lando's father. Can you imagine that?
Yeah, at CitCon. Yeah, he was sitting up there. Him, Captain Richard, several of them were all together in the mezzanine area.
How cool is that?
That was cool. That was cool. That picture there gives you an overview shot This was taken from actually, I can tell where this was taken from. Where Test Squadron had their booth, we could look out on the court area, and that's where all the dining took place. To the right of that area was where the food trucks were, and on the left was a 3/4 scale model of a Yellow Jacket, a Drake Yellow Jacket, and it was really, really nice. And you can see some of the people who were role playing in that second picture posing in front of it. Unfortunately, the Yellow Jacket is blocked. But that's a great, and that's one thing that I noticed. Did you notice, Archie, there were more people role playing this time?
Yes.
A lot more people, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So that was another factor that we had.
I was gonna role play, but because I was
Well, you were
picked as
working.
a volunteer, I couldn't,
you were working.
Yeah.
And then our last shots here, this definitely shows Archie when he was working. He was taking photos during the event, but he had a quick opportunity to pose with the anniversary cake. Every year when we have CitizenCon,
that cake was delicious.
Yeah, every year we have CitizenCon, they have a big cake at the end of it, and they bring it out on stage, and they light it, and then Chris blows it out, and then they serve the cake to all the volunteers and staff members that are there.
Standard Dev.
Yep, and then on my picture below is me with Standard Dev. This was his first year coming to the convention, and he seemed to enjoy himself, and we had a good time. I mean, overall, the whole thing was a really, really good time. And I would probably say, Cosmic, the biggest thing about coming to these conventions, even though 50% of it to me is the convention itself, the other 50% is getting to meet all these people and putting faces with voices.
Unfortunately, I'm not able to get to these things, but I watch all the streams, I watch all you guys, and it's like being there, you know?
Listen, I'm telling you this, Cosmic, for a reason, because next year it's in the UK. It's in the UK.
We'll see.
You know where I'm going with this, right? You know where I'm going. You know, there are so many people that would love to meet you, Cosmic. So I'm just putting it out there. 365 days. You got some time. So
the point is, I don't even know where I live.
Yeah, I'm sure you don't. Okay, well, listen, we're going to go ahead and jump in, guys. Once again, thanks, everybody, for coming by. What we're going to be doing now is reviewing Chris Roberts' keynote. So just kind of bear with us as we go through this. But you guys will understand what it is we're going through. Chris is going to be in the background, and we're going to be talking over it. If you have any questions about anything, you can drop those questions in as we're watching it, and we'll try to respond to those as they come along. So you won't see me and Archie anymore, but you're just going to hear our voices.
Hurston's the first planet that is a fully formed planet with a proper landing zone, and the goal is to have what we call the habitation system.
It looks like my room.
I'll tell you, this is one of the parts that I liked. We're going to have our own personal hab, and you can pick up stuff, put it away, clean up the room, or leave it a mess. I like the idea we'll be able to use the grabby hand thing, I call it, and put stuff where you want it in your own room. You can personalize it. This I like. I love this idea.
You know what I like about? I get to do my own coffee.
Exactly. Yeah, the coffee machine works.
That is actually a unique location.
Absolutely. I mean, this is getting to be incredible. I wasn't expecting any of this stuff for at least another 6 to 8 months.
Which you will see in a little bit.
And obviously, depending on where you
now, this is part of the mission for Squadron 42, right?
Not yet. He hasn't taken the mission yet. This is just him. This is just them working.
No, Archie. This is a mission that will be in 3.4.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Or possibly even 3.3.5, because you need to have Hurston and the Moons for this mission. But this is a mission for the persistent universe, not Squadron 42. This is him playing 3.3. Probably 5, because there's Hurston and stuff here, but he's actually going out on a mission in the persistent universe.
One of the things I think is going to be interesting, you mentioned this, Cosmic, and Chris mentions this, that there's going to be different types of habs. And so not only can you have habs look a certain way, it's also going to be a matter of how much money you want to spend on a hab. So you may end up having some type of luxurious habitat. Versus, if you want to have a little rundown thing and you say, hey, I could care less what I live. I can live in a rat hole. I don't care about that. Other people are going to want something lavish.
We want you to pick up
initially
things. We
we're
want you to
all
interact
going to
with
get
the
this
world
type
and
of
be able
hab.
to
Right,
look
right.
around
But you'll
and
have
look
the
for
choice of
clues
two
and
color
those
schemes.
types of
This
things.
one, which is mostly
Go
yellow,
ahead
and then
get your coffee.
the other one is like bluish. So you get your choice between which hab you want. But in the future, yeah, there'll be all kinds of different habitats. Absolutely, there will be.
Right,
You
so
can
you'll have a cup of
upgrade.
coffee,
You
we
can
have
upgrade,
the interaction.
Now, one of the
Here,
things,
here's
Archie,
making coffee.
yeah, you were just talking about this,
Look at all
Archie, with the
items, so you'll be
coffee.
able to- it's a far-
This is kind of
so
an
in
interesting
3.3, you'll be
piece,
able to look at your weapons,
because some people
stuff
think
you
this is
pick
too
up.
much detail.
And the long-term goal is
You
pretty
know, some
much
people
to
say,
make
"Nah, I don't want to do all that stuff. I just
items
want to get
in the
directly into
world
the game. I don't need
will
all
be
that stuff." And
interactable.
why are they
No, but
wasting
in the-
time doing this stuff? What do you
But you
what do you
don't
guys
have
think
to
about
do
that?
it.
No, I know, but I'm asking, what is your response to when people say that? Like they think that there's too much emphasis being put on this type of detail.
They're being compulsive because you don't have to do this. You don't have to do this.
But it's good for everybody. I mean, those people that don't want to do this, they just want to jump in and go play, go do it. Those people who want to do this or do it on board the ship or whatever, they're going to do it. Now, even if you don't want to do it, you're going to have to take one bite of something and one drink of something once a week,
Right.
where your character gets weak. But what's that take? 10 seconds of your time. You know, you don't have to sit here and do all this.
And you have
So
to
the-
sleep. You have to
Yeah,
sleep.
there's a little bit of something for everybody.
And the game's gonna make you take a shower because yeah, it's gonna be fun.
I'll give you an example. You know, when most of us log in for the first time someplace like the truck stop, we go and take our time and we look at everything. Same thing with Port Olisar. Now we just log in and run as fast as we can to the terminal room. You know what I mean? They could add stuff in there and we'd never know it. A good friend of mine, his 7-year-old son was in playing 2 days ago and he saw a cheeseburger sitting there and I walked by it 1,000 times, never saw it.
Yeah.
So it depends. You don't have to stop and smell the roses. You can just get on with it if you want. But for those people who want to do it, I think it's wonderful. There's no other game like this. But they'll all be like this in 10 years.
But the good thing is that we're going to be able to do it or not do it.
Yeah, it's kind of
You
like
have the option.
FOIP. It's like FOIP, the face thing. You can either do it or not do it.
You earn more money, you can buy bigger places, bigger spaces, more ships, more places to store it. But again, managing your equipment,
It's meaningful choices.
it's like
I mean,
a resource to manage.
yeah,
It brings a
essentially,
level
we
to
just
the
want
game
players to make meaningful
where no
choices.
other games have
I'm
gone
gonna take this armor set,
because
I'm gonna do this.
I'm an
take
Eve
this ship and do
online
this. If you can pull it from
for
anywhere,
12 years,
you're not making those hard
and
choices.
this is nothing compared. I mean, Star Citizen is it's way up past EVE Online on this particular way of playing the game.
Very briefly, Griffin, I see a lot of chat over in the chat there about your bot. Before we do the next one of these, I think we need to work on that bot a bit. He's a
Well,
little
I've
bit
already. They can relax. They're going to have to live with it for now. I already made a comment to him about it.
Yeah, I know, but it gets a little bit oofy with me, too.
Well, unless I get moderators, if I got volunteers for moderators, I'll be happy to have them.
Allowing the player to do the
You
same
guys
thing.
hearing that? We need a moderator.
Standard Dev is here.
And so we
Hiya,
wanna build
Standard.
a living, breathing.
I'll tell you what, this thing at Laurelville's starting to look really good, isn't it? Because that's where this is. The city down on Hurston. This is Laurelville. And it's looking really nice.
Sprinting left and right. So the AI is very important to give locations a sense of
City bopping.
which is
City bopping, yeah.
going to be aiming for here.
Guys, it was going to be fun.
Go down to the base of L19, and when we
I love the metro system. That's real cool. I
Vlamander,
knew it was coming.
Do you know
Vlamander,
that the Kraken has a miniature transportation vehicle?
yep.
Yep.
Vlamander, how dare you say that? Take that back.
Head out.
What'd he
what
say?
happened?
Area holds
Look in
100
chat.
hubs.
Yeah, so each building holds 100 houses.
Yeah.
So as more players come
Who
online,
said
and they
what?
start in Lordville,
Don't
we would
worry about it.
actually
He knows what I
have
said
more
to
of
him.
these buildings
I
in the
volunteer
complex.
Cosmic.
So
I
here we
can't be
are.
a moderator. I'm on the show.
Yeah.
Looking out at the vista onto Lordville.
Right, so this is another one of those great shots where we get ready to come outside and we see a really beautiful panoramic view of what the world looks like.
Yeah, Tessa Spaceport is the main spaceport.
You know what's the first thing I thought about when I saw this scene? You see that stuff running out of the pipes? I said the environmentalists are going to have a field day with this game.
coming out of quantum travel in orbit and coming down, landing on the pad.
This is Hurston. I don't think there are any environmentalists.
But I didn't see any.
That's what I'm saying.
They're all dead if they are.
Systemic, so it doesn't always happen.
Oh, that's the subway? Is that the subway map? No, not yet.
We'll carry on
That's the air quality.
going to show you a little bit of Lawville, and this area is sort of the kind of.
You got to admit, I mean, honestly,
right?
the graphics, the lighting, the visual, the sound effects in this game at this early stage is just incredible.
Hurston's a corporate planet, and the Hurston Corporation owns.
Jolly, that's a good question. Jolly's asking a question. He says, "Were you all expecting Star Citizen to be at this point that 3.3 is at this time?" To be honest with you, there are things about Star Citizen that they are much further on than I thought they would be. A lot of times when people try to gauge the progress of Star Citizen, they're basing it upon what they feel, how long it takes to put a game together. And unfortunately, most of those timelines that people come with aren't real. They're not realistic in game design. And what I mean by that is, let's say, for example, we see a game like, I don't know, Call of Duty, and we see one come out every 2 years, every 3 years, and we think that's how long it takes for them to produce the next one. It doesn't. They may have started on that game 6 years ago. And the fact that they already have an engine that is already, that they don't update or change very much, allows them to turn these games out quickly. Star Citizen basically took an engine, redesigned it completely from bottom up, and basically started, I mean, technically, they actually started doing development not in 2012 when Chris announced it, but in late 2013, early 2014. So technically, the game has only been really in development almost 4 years. Average games, AAA games, can take 7 to 9 years before completion. So, are we where I think we should be? In many ways, yes, absolutely. I don't feel like they're running behind schedule or that they're dragging their feet, only because for a game that's doing something that no other game has done before, that alone says I have to give them more time, that they can't operate within the normal timelines of normal game development.
Now, one of the things I was, like everybody else, waiting for the 64-bit coding to be done, to the Cry engine. And that took over a year.
Yep.
Then they started doing what they're doing now, this object container streaming, because to have a huge, massive universe like we have now, you can't do it without the object container streaming. And nobody else in the world ever has or have right now. This is the only place you have this type of thing, the size of a world, the size of planets. So, but now that it's done, now that we're getting this in here, and we're going to get a lot of content. I was initially surprised that they went ahead and put FOIP in, and they're getting ready to put VoIP in. But then I realized that they're doing that this early because they need that stuff in Squadron 42, you see, and they're trying to get that completed as quickly as they can.
Excuse me, Cosmic, for 1 second. I just want to comment. You guys notice they're doing this thing with the glass. There's a reason why they're showing that. They're showing the physics that they used for that ice cube in the glass, and so that's how specific in detail that they're getting. And some people feel like, that's too much, what do I care? But there are a lot of us who actually do care about having that type of gameplay.
Well, you do care because it shows the physics of the water, and pretty soon we're going to have lakes, rivers, oceans.
Wind, everything, absolutely.
So yeah, it's, I'm really happy that we're starting to make content progress now. That's what we've been waiting on, content.
Yep, and
it's starting with 3.3.5, you're going to start getting a lot of content every 3 months.
And kind of think of it like if you were building a building, right? If you're going to build a skyscraper, when they build a skyscraper, they dig a big hole, they go underground. Sometimes they stay underground for a year and a half when it's a really tall building. But once that foundation is in, you start seeing that building go up quickly. And that's actually what we're seeing happen now. We weren't getting quarterly updates before. Remember, we waited around 8-9 months, almost a year before a major update came around. Now they feel confident enough that they can say every quarter you're going to see something of substance added to this. So the foundation's being laid, and like Cosmic said, with the optical container part being done, and after that bind culling kicks in, it's going to start exponentially moving faster.
And then all the pieces are going to start falling into place.
I have to say this. I absolutely have to. Okay. Those people here that know me real well, they know I struggled for 2.5, 3 years trying to get frame rate above 10 or 12. You know that. Then I got a better graphics card, and I struggled to get my frame rate anywhere into the high teens, low 20s. I struggled. Okay?
You respond here.
I go out
And
now
then
in
also
3.3.
when you get injured,
And I never
and the med
drop
pen
below
takes you back to a certain
35,
percentage, and then
sometimes
it'll update over
32
time,
frames a second.
and then you'll
Usually I'm
actually get
playing
some
anywhere
stuff
from
here,
40 up
whether
into the
it's at a
70s.
hospital
Okay, and
or
that's
by the
that's
Apollo
even at
or
Levski,
Endeavor.
Port Olisar,
Yeah,
everywhere.
exactly. I mean, the
That's
idea is
without
that
buying
med pen
calling.
is a short-term solution.
Yeah.
Now,
that stops
I can
bleeding
tell you
post
this
outbreak for a little
without
while, but if you
violating
don't get
anything
it,
because
then
Chris Roberts
longer-term
mentioned
things
it.
start bleeding
He
back
said
and
he's
eventually
removing
die.
buying
So
calling,
even with
so
med
don't
pen, you
expect
still
to
need
get
to go
those
back
really,
and get
really
med
high
pen just
FPSs
help
over
set
100.
yourself up, just like repairing
Even
a-
old Cosmic
You're
was
like a
getting
ship.
over
You repair
100
your
frames a second when we were
So here we
testing
are,
with the
ready to
buying
make
calling
pen
in.
and,
So
disposal.
going out now and playing this game anywhere from 45 to 80 frames a second is just incredible to a guy like me. Okay, it's just it's incredible.
Yeah, but Cosmic, the human eye and the monitors are minimum 30 frames a second.
Yeah, I know, but the game plays so smooth. You
Right.
know, Daredevil and I was out on a
Can
Vanguard
we
the other
stop a
day
second?
playing together.
Excuse me for interrupting you quick. I want to talk about what's going on. Cosmic, can you talk about this? What's happening on screen right now?
Oh yeah, this is great. This is the Mission Giver, one of the new ones, and part of the part I like about it is the UI. He talks to you a little bit, he da, but then you got choices of what to say to this man. Okay, if you ever played Chris Roberts and Aaron Roberts games before, you always had this. You choose like here, looking for work or whatever. Okay, in the past you were able to save your game, and if you screwed up, you could do it again. When this game goes live, you're not going to be able to save your game and do it again. You better pick right the first time. If you irritate this guy, he'll never talk to you again for the next 20 years.
Yeah.
Okay? This is, I mean, I'm telling you, the UI and how this is coming together is just incredible.
Like you said,
And
this is-
and wait till you see the way they fixed the star map in game. Wow.
when you were mentioning about the fact that this is another mission giver, I think it's interesting to note that there's some mission givers you get immediate access to. There are other mission givers that won't speak to you until maybe you've accomplished certain things. It might be also depending
when
on
you
your
get a
alignment.
reputation.
Your reputation, right. Your alignment and reputation can have effects on
And
it.
it depends whether you're a good person or a bad person. If you're a bad person, you may not ever get to see some of these. And if
Absolutely.
you're a good person, you ain't going to get to see the others.
Yep.
And there's even a female now, mission giver. And by the end of the year, we're going to have female characters. That's going to really be great. I'm looking forward to that.
Yes. Definitely.
There he is.
Yeah,
Here's-
this is
This is when the first example comes up of them doing the face, recognizing the character. Everybody got a good laugh out of this. Evidently, the calibration wasn't set for the character who was going to talk to him.
But it's still fun.
It is fun, and,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we get the idea of what's taking place. It's the fact that you can see if you're playing with other friends in the game, you can click on your Mobi-Glass and see them, and actually see where they are. The mouth and face movement matches them, and it's just a nice feature that they've added. Some people say, "Oh, it's too much, it's too much," but for those of us who like this level of role play and like this level of detail, I think it's a fun thing to have.
A rear intruder is asking Cosmic about the GPU.
What exactly is the question?
He says,
Which GPU, Cosmic? My Titan X is 99%. In this build was 30% in 30.2.
I don't know much about that. Right now, I'm running on my CPU is an AMD 8-core, and my GPU is a 1080. Okay? And before 3.3, I was struggling to get into the low to mid-20s most of the time. Now, I'm getting anywhere from, on average, 45 to 70 all the time.
They can actually play it too.
So
That's
this
with
is
16 gigabytes of memory, by the way.
Yeah. They're still in the station, right?
Yeah, let's
this
talk
is
about
the,
this a little bit. This thing here, it says Maria on your right side that's coming up, guys, as soon as they come through these doors. This is going to be the hospital area. It's one of the respawning areas in the game if you die, where you may need to have surgery done. You just barely see it to the right side. There's a cross on the top of the building.
Yeah. My ship is Hope.
Because we'll need that for the mission.
My hospital ship.
You know, this is just one landing zone in Lorville. The city's going to be huge. But I imagine it'll be like Port Olisar. All the landing zones will pretty much be the same.
What's the term that they use, Cosmic? I'm losing it in my head right now. For the mist, what do they call that? The effect that they're using for like mist and steam and clouds, the atmospheric
fog
effect. Yeah, no, there's another term they use for it that they've
Particle?
the particle, not
Particle.
particle. Yeah,
Yeah.
they've really gotten that down now. I remember when we first saw them do that inside of a busted up javelin, I think it was, or Idris, and it looked really good. But now with the lighting, they've really gotten it down.
It's very
Yep.
cool.
I like all the new armors and spacesuits and stuff too. They've done a real nice job with these.
A lot of variety.
And being able to mix and match stuff, that's real nice.
Yes.
I got a whole bunch of them for free.
And then
Different
we
colors.
I know a lot of people that like to wear the heavy armor, but they don't like that helmet because it's got little peephole eyes. They just change the helmet.
So
You know, the other thing too is that with the armor, it's just not aesthetics about just how it looks, but they're actually functional. And depending on what you're wearing, if you're wearing light armor, you move faster, your maneuverability is easier, but your protection's lower. Heavy armor, the opposite. You move slower, but you're much more defended. So it's great to know that this isn't just about aesthetics and what looks good.
This is going to be very important. This
The multi-tool?
particular tool,
The
multi-tool for the engineer, because in the ships, the components will start wearing out.
Gladestone says he missed the show due to work this year. Gladestone, I will tell you this, if you continue to watch the test zone, which we both know you will, you're going to see the entire thing, okay? Because you're watching it right now.
Yeah, this was the keynote. Chris Robert was talking to everybody in the auditorium.
I think he's just saying that because he missed going. He hated not being able to go because he went in 2016, so he wasn't able to go this year.
I am praying that it will be in Austin 2020.
Huge improvement to the UI, don't you think?
Absolutely. It's funny when we think about how the Mobi-Glass first looked and how it looks now. Even within this past year, it's been such a dramatic change.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Do you remember how it was? I
Yeah,
don't
when it
remember.
didn't work, yeah.
Yeah, it didn't work.
So we're going to make our way to the train station. So this is the workers' district, and that's how the workers get taken to the strip mine.
They say this area that they're going into now is the workers' district, and it's how the workers get taken to the strip mine. You see there's a functioning train. When they pan past those stairs, there's actually another railway system down there that takes the people to go work,
Go to the metro station.
which is a different system than the one that we're going to get on, which is the transport system.
There's actually a functioning transit system that we're going to head to.
People have been telling me for the past year that there wasn't going to be any metro transports in this game, and I kept telling them, just wait. And it is, I got to tell you, it's better than I ever thought it was going to be.
And
This
it's going to get better. It's going to be bigger.
You can sit in the seat, look out the window, and watch the city go by. This is
Yeah.
Yeah.
The subway in New York is going to be big.
It's going to be interesting to see how the community responds to this railway system thing, because to me, I love it. I love the fact that there's a time frame between trains, but I'm also kind of curious to see whether or not people are going to feel like, this time frame waiting is reasonable, or whether people are going to I'm sick of waiting on these trains, I'm not touching them. I'm really curious to see how people will react to it.
Well, if they don't get on the train, they ain't going to be gone very far, are they? It's a long walk.
To get to the spaceport.
Is that going to be where my ship? What's that? What's the airliner that we have?
The Genesis?
The
Starliner?
Genesis Starliner. NPCs are going to need transportation, and that ship is going to allow you to earn money transporting NPCs back and forth.
Line, which will take us to the outskirts, or we can
And
take the
players.
spaceport line, which is
And players as well, yeah.
Here we go, the Metro Center. Check
There it
it
is.
out. Oh, man, I love this part. I do. I'm sorry. I just love this part. I can't watch it enough.
The player can
Yeah.
enter into the city.
I have waited so long for this.
It gives you
And
kind
just
of
for
the
watching the map,
idea of the scale of the city.
it's like in the subway in New York. You go up to you go through the corridors just like this.
Do you know, Archie, about 3.5, 4 years ago, they put out a prototype video of their concept of a metro, and I must have watched that thing 100 times.
Trains departing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I liked about this was the fact that there was actually the clock system that was there to let you know when trains were arriving and departing, and you knew
Did you hear
had,
what Chris Roberts said about that?
Yeah, 30-second wait on them before they depart.
Oh,
And
no,
then you got to wait 5 minutes.
It was one of the
Oh,
other
30
devs.
seconds.
Did you hear
no,
what
no.
they said about it?
Hang on a second. I want to clarify something. 30 seconds for the departure. Once the train gets there, it gets 30 seconds before it departs. 5-minute
but
waits
then you
between
gotta wait,
trains.
what,
5 minutes between
for the
trains.
next.
Go ahead, Cosmic.
On one of the panels, somebody was talking about that, and the dev actually said, I'm glad you guys liked that clock because it was a last-minute thing. We were getting ready to wrap it all up, and Chris Roberts said, hey, it would be nice to have a clock up there, so we scrambled and put one up there. It was the last thing added.
That's nice.
160 seconds.
That is nice.
160 seconds once the train left.
Chris Roberts says, I'd like a clock. We get a clock.
Yeah.
It's
This
incredible.
one's for you.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to share. I love
So that's
the fact
2
that
minutes and
it's,
40 seconds for the
running,
next
transit
train.
System. And, you know, you
Yep.
have to
Do you remember at the end of this
drive,
stream, he ran like crazy to catch the train, and he says, boy, we just made it because the next one came, what was it, 5 minutes later?
5 minutes later, yeah.
The track
Yeah.
building.
You got to stand there for 5 minutes and do nothing but wait.
That is good. That shows you the time for the next train.
Yep.
Well, it's also good because imagine if you've got friends in your meeting, right? And you get there first. You can tell people, hey, train's going to be here in 2 minutes, 3 minutes and 30 seconds, and people know
Yeah.
how much time it is to meet up.
City Boppin' 101.
There you go. Train came exactly.
I love the idea we can go on these trains and sit down and watch out the window. This is incredible. At this stage of development, this is incredible.
Between the spaceport and,
Goes to that point, the question earlier, are they where we think that they should be? And there were things like this that I didn't think we'd be seeing just yet. We knew it was coming, but the fact that we see that they've got this here now, this is awesome.
It is.
Just keep in mind. Remember where the doors are. You see the marking on the platform? Those are the markings for the door.
This is what blew my mind. When you come out of the tunnel and accelerates, the view outside is incredible.
You look back, you see the tracks.
Which brings up a point. About a week ago, I was out with a couple test guys, and I took them on the Phoenix because they didn't see the interior of the Phoenix. And I told them I'd fly it and they could look around. So I took the long jump way out to the truck stop, okay, the rest stop. And one guy on Discord was saying, oh my goodness, what an incredible experience. We're doing quantum jump. I'm walking around on this big ship, and I can stand here and look out the window. This is incredible.
It still
Yeah.
is amazing. Cosmic, let me ask you a question. Will these areas that we're seeing outside the window right now, I know Tony and them mentioned earlier there were going to be no-fly zones, certain areas where you literally cannot fly your ship over.
Yes.
Would these be those type of areas?
Yeah, the way it's going to be. I mean, these cities are big. Now, when you get ArcCorp, the whole planet is one big city.
Right.
Okay. So, yes, I mean, they know what's going to happen. We're going to be out there with ships bashing and
Right.
crunching
Dive
everything.
bombing folks and everything, right.
So what's going to happen is in a place like Lorville, you're going to have so many of these landing zones, okay? And any place else is going to have a no-fly zone. In other words, you're not going to be able to come down very low, like low enough to fire missiles at it or something. Because
Right.
people are going to do this if they can, okay? If you start to get outside of that or start to get monkey, what you're going to get is you're going to get like police ships come up to blow you up, or you're going to get turrets on top of buildings. It's going to blow you up.
Okay.
So they're going to be like size 9 turrets, and they're going to just blow you up.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Right,
They're,
right.
they're city defenses. They don't want us out there just acting goofy and stuff.
Right.
Because they can't control that on a city the size of Lorville, for an example.
That's
Eventually,
gonna-
we're going to have Planet Earth. Planet Earth is going to have New York, Moscow, Shanghai. How can you patrol this if you don't have no fly zones within reason? It's a game.
It makes sense.
You got to have some reason to it all, or it just turns into a mess.
Makes sense.
Plus, you're gonna have fly lanes. You know, the fly lanes that
Yeah,
markers
exactly
that you have
that
to
too.
follow.
Yeah, you will stick within the fly lanes, and if you get out of it, you'll get like a 5-second warning. Get back, we kill you.
Yeah, ignore the glitching AI.
Because otherwise, it's just going to turn into to a mess. You know this.
All right, this area that we're coming up on now, we're going to see one of the first times that we get to see the Kraken out on a landing pad, and it's pretty amazing to see the size of it.
Remind you guys, though, of an airport waiting thing where you're looking out the window waiting for your airplane? It does, doesn't it? Look at that. Oh, yeah.
That is the Kraken.
I don't know, are there any ships coming?
Great ship. Great ship. And in 1 hour and 6 minutes, it's Wave 7 of Release the Kraken.
Release the Kraken.
Yeah.
Disable the ships coming and going? I don't know what happened.
What a
This is
great
also
ship.
interesting too. They talk about these lounges that are at the terminal area, as you mentioned, Cosmic. You know, like when we go to airports now, there'll be a lounge. If you're with a certain airline, they're going to provide.
You know
these
what that
same
lounge
type of
is, don't
lounges.
you?
Chairman's Club,
That's
right?
the Million Mile High.
Yeah, that's why they got a guard there with a machine gun. You and I'm not allowed in there.
Yeah.
Unless I'm a guest.
Right.
Right.
The various spaceports.
Okay.
We're going to go and just retrieve
Oh,
our ship.
since the test zone is done by testies and primarily for testies, but anybody's welcome, I want to mention this to anybody that does not know. Montoya bought a Kraken for Test Squadron. He's got a post up on the test forum. If you would like to contribute, please go up. You'll find it and donate if you're in the mood to do so. Okay? Thank you.
Ship dealer is, which is a big deal because in 3.3.
Rattle, I'm trying to understand your question. You said, what about using shields in a game where shields actually exist to protect areas? I don't understand what the question is.
I think he's talking about like shields around a city, maybe?
That's what I thought maybe he was talking about. But
Now, the no-fly zone works real well the way they've got it because you just can't simply get in there.
right.
They'll just shoot you down if you try to get in there.
Oh, protecting the buildings? No, they're not going to do that. Like Cosmic said, you won't even get there. They're going to nail you before you even get in there.
Yeah, because the city is so huge, and let's say there's, as an example, let's say they got 6 landing zones, okay? There's maybe 10, okay? The rest of the city's a no-fly zone for all practical purposes. See? And it's just easier to just put the whole city as a no-fly zone except these areas. And then these areas, you have to come in this way, and that's it. Because otherwise, it's just going to be a true mess. You know this.
Rattle, I don't know if you heard this, but Tony Z talked about the accuracy of their AI with shooting stuff down. He said it's at 99% accuracy.
Oh, yeah.
So don't think that you're going to outfly the AI. If they set that thing at full power, it will take out whatever.
Yeah, on some of the the defensive turrets they're going to put on top of buildings, it's like 99.9% accuracy, and they are huge. When they hit you, you're going to die. Because they do not want you in there monkeying around.
Okay.
They're going to destroy you.
We've reached our first break, guys, believe it or not. So we're going to go to our commercial.
Okay.
And you guys, I think you'll like what this commercial is, so here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go.
Ask any soldier. They'll tell you that battles aren't won or lost based on weapons or numbers or even hardware. They're won on choices. For over a century, our ships have distinguished themselves in thousands of civilian and military combat operations. We are proud to announce another weapon in the arsenal of victory. Get ready for the next generation of warfare with Anvil's Valkyrie dropship. This multi-role weapon platform is designed to get personnel in and out of the hottest combat zones. Featuring 4 powerful rotating thrusters with VTOL capabilities, the Valkyrie is capable of landing with surgical precision to deploy assets. Fitted with a vehicle bay and ramp, you can also efficiently launch ground-based troop transports or reconnaissance vehicles in the field. Each high-performance operator seat features rugged construction with added support to minimize G-force for up to 20 personnel, making sure that your fighting force arrives on site ready to jump into the fray. And don't think for a second that the Valkyrie can't hold its own in a fight. 2 remote turrets featuring size 3 hardpoints can provide suppressing fire during deployment. 2 additional manned turrets provide even more devastating fire to blur the line between dropship and gunship. In the days of antiquity, the Valkyrie were believed to choose which warriors may die in battle and which may live. With Anvil's Valkyrie, we put that choice in your hands.
Okay, I have to say this. Whoever writes those commercials needs a freaking Academy Award. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh yeah, it's awesome. That when I saw that commercial, oh boy.
All right, so we're picking up going down into the hangar now. This is Chris talking about the small hangar versus the big hangars.
Well, it's places in the spaceport.
That's a great ship, the Valkyrie.
It is.
This is built out of our
So this is
common
us seeing the larger hangar that's at the
these-
truck stop, and it's
this
pretty
is how we
amazing.
scale. You know, we build these big elements, and then we can bring them down and build smaller elements out of that.
One of the things that I thought was really great about this, and some of you already know this, some of you may not, but when you come into the large hangar with a large ship, this is the first time we've seen where hangar doors actually open and close. So if your ship is larger than
This
the
is at Lorville now.
No, I'm just mentioning about the truck stop. I'm sorry, but most of us know in our hangars right now, doors don't open. When you go into the rest stop, if you have a large ship, those doors do open, and you literally pull into the hangar, which is really an awesome sight.
It is, yes.
There's something about the when they remade the Mustangs. I love the idea of the folding wings because you could fit them more. You could fit more of them in the ship.
Mm-hmm. There's the Mustang Beta.
For those of you who haven't had the opportunity to fly or to crew on the Valkyrie, what a wonderful experience. And the Mustangs, you've got to check out the Mustangs. The Mustangs are great.
All right.
I like that panel,
Go to comms and ask,
the one panel for multiple screens.
Yeah, it's a big improvement over what it was before, too.
Yeah.
We just got him in. He's a little blown out.
Yeah. And we can't hear him either. But he's like, okay, you got permission to land.
Permission to take off.
Let's say take off. Sorry, yeah, not land.
So, Glenn, can you look up or good?
That was the air traffic controller telling the pilot that he's ready, that the doors are open, right?
And some people, some of the streamers have already found out that, especially with the FOIP, if you're talking to one of your buddies in a party in the game, 3.3 right now, PTU, his face will show up there and you can see him talking to you.
Yeah, yeah.
And so you see the
Yeah, providing you have a camera in your computer.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying, at this early stage of the game, that even shocked the streamers. They weren't expecting that, you see.
Yeah.
So this gives you a good sense of
I
scale.
love the folding wings.
Yep.
I don't know if we can see, but
The Mustangs are flying real nice these days. I'm anxious for 3.4 when we get the new flight model. I think that's really going to that's really going to make this game.
Yeah, that's when I'll start connecting my joystick to my computer.
If you can see, Lorville's made quite a lot of
Yep,
progress
it's all
on
going to
that.
start to come together in 3.4 when we get the new flight model and all that.
We spent a fair amount of time
But yeah, it's
scoping it out.
it's just an incredible experience right now, especially with decent frame rates.
This is another great chance where we're seeing another great view in third person behind a ship,
Quite a lot, too.
from leaving from Lorville, going over Hurston. I just love the fact that the detail that they have here is really incredible.
The goal is in 3-4.
Do you know what's incredible is how high that building actually is.
Yeah, that is incredible. You're right.
Yeah.
The
That looks like
Hurston
a
family's got a few dollars, don't they?
There's a lot about Star Citizen where you can definitely see where they're influenced from the designers, and I think about movies like Blade Runner. When you see things like that, there was this building that stands out amongst all the other buildings. You can definitely see influence in that with where these guys design and develop this stuff.
And Star Wars, the
Yep.
planet where you had fly lanes.
Yeah, you notice this guy's flying above the city, outside this no-fly zone thing here. It reminds me of in real life, we got no fly zones.
Right.
You know, if
No,
you're at
but
New
look-
York, if you're flying an airplane around New York City, there's no fly zones
Right.
and there's altitude restrictions. You
Absolutely.
can't just go anywhere.
Yeah, if you notice, he's flying between those two markers.
Yeah.
Every time he passes, there's two markers on either side. So he's following a lane.
It's no different from real life flying. You know, if you're flying a Cessna out over a city in America, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
You stray off the pass, and there's going to be an F-14 on your butt real quick.
Right. I also appreciated, I don't know if you guys noticed the difference in detail of terrain versus when we saw Lear 3. There's the atmospherics, first of all, are different. I know this planet is supposed to have much more pollution, but also when you look at the terrain, the biomes have more detail to me. They look more realistic. They looked good when we saw them a year ago.
Griffin, I don't know any of you people been playing 3.3 now, but what I have noticed over the past, since it started, say 3 weeks ago, I think Archie's noticed it too. The terrain on places like even Daymar and Yala have changed at least 3 times over the last 3 weeks.
Yep, it's gotten better. I agree.
I went out this morning and went to Selin and almost didn't recognize it. There's subtle changes, but they just look great.
I remember when I saw 1 or 2 rocks here and there, and everything was graded.
Well, that was your graphic card, Archie.
Yeah, I know.
Been allowing you to traverse it in reasonable times.
But to Archie's point, though, I think we all remember back when all we saw was the surfaces of these moons and surfaces, and I'm nothing to put down Elite Dangerous, but they were like at that Elite Dangerous level where it was just a lunar surface. But now we're actually seeing, great amount of detail.
Yep.
And this particular mission, I believe, can spawn in multiple locations.
Yes,
This
it will be.
destination around Hurston.
Yeah.
And so.
And also how
You
much-
notice
and
he's on a planet here now. You notice how long it takes him without doing something like a quantum jump. Now, he's in combat speed. He's not going to cruise or whatever, but
Right.
look how long it takes him to fly from the city out to where he's going to do this mission.
Yeah.
See, it's not something you just jump in here and play an arcade pinball and say, okay, wham, bam, I'm there. I'm going to do this mission.
Right.
I mean, this is incredible. And when he jumped and fell down and he had to do it again, if it were us, we'd spawn back somewhere and have to start all over again. At least he has developer tools. He can stick himself back on the mission again. But if we mess up, we got to start all over again.
So we're sort of hitting the sort of.
Look how far away it is, and it's just a tiny distance on this planet. This planet is huge.
A planetary bombardment kind of biome. So like this.
Heck, we have trouble finding the Javelin on a little moon.
Gladestone, to respond to your question, do we like the flight model? Yeah, the one that they showed at the con is definitely, I think most people responded to it in a very positive way. Like always, I tell people when the folks, the developers at CIG put stuff out there are things that they're testing. There are things that they're testing to see how the community responds to it. And then again, it goes back to them and they refine. And so a lot of times when changes come up in the game, for example, let's say they decide to nerf something or adjust the speed to something, people sometimes get all riled up about it, but they keep forgetting we're barely in an alpha mode. We're not even near beta. Things change, and they constantly change. And sometimes I think we think that when we see CIG publish something, that this is what they're saying the final product will be. CIG's been pretty faithful to respond to the community. And so I know a lot of people were not liking the way the last flight model was. Now it seems like they went back, reconsidered some things, changed some things, they put some things back, and people seem to be really happy with the new direction that it's going in.
To add to that, Griffin, Gladestone, yes, the flight model as it stands now is good, but what we're getting in 3.4, I didn't get a chance to play it, but I've talked to a lot of people that did. They played it at CitizenCon. I've watched the video, I've read critiques of it, and I can tell you that the vast majority of people are happy with what's coming in 3.4.
Yep.
Most of that is because as they're making the flight model to the way Chris Roberts always wanted it 5 years ago, he told us what he wanted. It just took this long to get here. But they're also responding to our requests. You know, a very high percentage of people, what I call the fighter jocks, you know, the hotshot pilots, okay, they're unhappy with ESP. That's being corrected. They're happy with the correction. They're working on dual joystick play now. The other thing is decouple zone. You know, decoupled has been a sore spot for most of us. Decouple will now work the way we all expected. Whether you're in a Super Hornet or you're on a Constellation, decouple means something different to you. They have found a happy balance to make all of us happy. Everybody I've talked to is happy about it.
Excuse me, I want to cut in real quick. We just saw him do a scan, and this is him trying to find the location of where he's supposed to go, and so now we see scanning being used as a way of finding a mission objective.
Yep, and very shortly you'll be able to scan other ships.
Cosmic, did you notice that the avionics are different colors now?
Yeah,
and you can see the lines.
And I just read a thing where that's going to change again very shortly. Yeah, it's big progress. One of the biggest things I think that's going to please most of us, and it'll be coming in the next few months, is our HUDs. Right now, the HUD is set to a certain color, and that's cool except the background. We will have the option to change the color of the HUD on the fly. So if your HUD is white and you go to yellow, you can't see anything, so you change it to blue or whatever. And if you go or to brown, if you go to Daymar, you know, you got to change it back to some other color. So yeah, that's coming again, because that's one of my complaints. Some place I go to yellow and I can't see the HUD half the time.
So now we reached our mission objective.
Well, look at
the mission objective in this was supposed to be that he found this downed satellite. For those of you all who didn't see this or don't remember, he was supposed to find this downed satellite. And
there's your particle effects.
Yep, absolutely.
And the foliage. Look at all this, man. This is incredible.
Again, what, a year and a half ago we were looking at surfaces with no terra at all, just rock and stone. And now we're
and very soon we'll have birds, we'll have animals, all kinds of stuff. This is really getting to be, it's incredible. I can't wait for the snow.
We are down on the ground. Let's go.
Yeah.
By the way, for those of you who didn't see this week, they released some new videos from the conference. One of them I would highly recommend taking a look at is the one on physics. It's really, really good. So if you haven't seen it, watch the one on physics. They introduce wind. They show materials and cloth, and it is pretty amazing to see what they're going to be unleashing to us next.
Well, you can see the wind in here blowing the plants around.
Yep, absolutely.
This is just incredible. Yeah, this is wonderful. And now that we start to get decent frame rates, it's playable, gentlemen. So get out and have fun. Talk your buddies into getting out and having fun. Does it crash? Well, of course it crashes. It's still alpha testing. They're trying to get the crashes fixed. Yeah. But get out and have some fun.
Yeah, most of you guys who've been around long enough now, if I hear you guys complain about crashing, I'm going to choke you. If you've been around Star Citizen any amount of time, you know we get bugs and crashes. It's the whole point of being a tester backer. Rear, let me answer your question. When is the Star Citizen camera available? Any news? There hasn't been anything set up recently talking about the peripherals. We just know that they are developing it. This goes back to the days of when they were going to come up with their own keyboard and joystick. You know, that's something that's just down the road that they want to do. But they are making sure that it does operate with most cameras for people who are interested in doing the whole void thing and all that stuff.
Gentlemen, if you'll excuse me, I'll be back in 2 minutes.
Okie doke.
And I'm actually looking forward to when we can have a real dense sort of jungle.
Hey, look at all the particles, all the dry leaves.
The most you get is either this sort of kind of
the dust,
savannah, or you're going to get the executive gardens. But the tech that the Frankfurt guys and Marco Cabetta has been heading
the flames, the smoke coming out of the wreckage.
The whole planet, and when you get down, you're right in the middle of it, and it's really, really cool. And we're constantly working to improve it, so it's already a level above what we showed a year ago, and it's great. It's going to be even better as you carry on. So, and here we go. In the current game, the fire doesn't damage you, but longer term, the fire will damage you. It'll be part of the player status system. We're going to measure the temperature and the heat. So over a certain amount, you start to get damaged. And also, if you're in a tight area,
I wonder if he's going to have the detail where you could get damaged by fire if you get close enough to a fire.
That comes up actually. Chris mentions the fact that they are going to bring that on board, where you will be injured by flame, things of that nature. So
Yeah.
it's coming.
Get into the game, so it's one big sandbox to just live and exist.
I think that the subject even came up once before with talking about, like, for example, when you're EVAing and you're outside, you know, if you go near engine thruster, something like that, you'll take damage from that as well, be killed. So, which will be good. You know, I'd love to have that stuff in there.
What ship is this? Did they
It's a satellite.
Satellite.
Oh, right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I was mentioning Cosmic about damage, walking by a fire or something like that. That eventually you're gonna get
Yeah,
injured.
look at this. That's cool. Yeah, even Chris Roberts mentioned if you stand too close to the fire, you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah.
Rear Intruder says he's getting the same frame rate in Star Citizen as Assassin's Creed. Oh, is that good or bad?
That's
Yeah.
good.
What's the number? I mean, he didn't say a number.
Interactivity with the environment again, because we want it to be sort of a tactile, exploratory.
By the way,
feel.
we haven't thanked all you people for coming in here today and giving support to Archie and Griffin Gaming. They do a great test zone. So pass the word to your friends. Start giving them some love. Start giving them support. This is a great thing they do for you guys, okay? Thanks for coming in and helping them out.
Ah, look, we got 21 people.
40 to 60 frames. That's pretty decent, Rear.
Wow,
That's
yeah.
excellent.
So this is when he tries to make his...
Wait till you get bind calling.
This is when
It's
he's trying to
gonna
make
get
his
better.
jump, and he's, you guys know what happens. Ultimately, he jumps 3 times, and he ends up injuring and bleeding out. But it's good to see that this type of thing can happen even to the developers, right? Some
Yeah,
people
but that's where he used a dev tool to come back here. If it were us, we'd have to start way back at Loreville.
Right, exactly.
That's why I keep telling people the hardest thing in this game is staying alive, because otherwise you spawn and have to start over again.
Yep.
You need to work on staying alive.
Oh, where's my jetpack?
He joked around. He said when they practiced this, that every time they did it, it worked fine. He didn't miss one time. I know Montoya says he thinks that maybe they did this just for the drama. But either way it goes, it was just interesting to see what happened, that he bled out before he could use a EpiPen, well, not EpiPen, whatever the thing is called.
Medipin.
Medipin, thank
Medipin.
you.
Archie, you got a thumbs up from a gentleman called Hardcore Hall, whoever that is.
Hiya.
He said it was great meeting you at CitizenCon.
Settle down.
It's always great meeting Archie. Archie's a cool dude.
Heal yourself.
Yeah, you better get.
You know, him and Griffin go to a lot of trouble to produce these things for you guys, so I hope you appreciate them and give them lots of love. Tell everybody you know to get in here at these things, okay? We try to give you a few days' notice. They work real hard for you guys to do this.
And
There he
here we
is,
go. He's
getting the
bleeding out.
medpen.
Yeah, he's bleeding out. He didn't make it.
Hey, I heard somebody on Spectrum today ask a question. I got a question for all of you people. You notice every time you use the med pin, he injects himself in a certain, like in his arm, right? What happens if you got one of those prosthetic arms?
That's
You
funny.
better drop it in
The
your leg.
animation's still going to stick the needle in it, isn't it?
Hopefully
Yeah.
they'll change. Hopefully they'll change it. So anyway, we know what happened here. He respawns back in his hab, and of course we know that they decided to use a go-to command to jump ahead, so that they don't have to, as Cosmic said, go through all the travel and everything to get back.
Yeah, there we go.
I'm writing this down so I can do this in the
Yeah.
future. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, write it down.
It don't work
Right.
for us. I tried.
Take the next jump.
Stop that video and copy all that commands.
Don't work. Only works for them.
Let's see. Stats. Stalinator
I
test.
made that jump every single.
Well,
Yeah.
you shall inject
See you missed that
your
jump,
leg because if
until now.
you use Epi on your arm, it will break your arm.
Yeah, it should be the leg. He's
Should
right.
be the leg. He's right. Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You should stick it in your thigh.
Yep. Exactly.
Well, that's the training we had in the Army. It was a big thing that you put it on your thigh.
Here comes the big jump again. Of course, he's pumped up.
You know
the
the
pressure's on.
I want to ask if anybody else had the same concern watching this that I did. Now, the guy who's doing this, the CIG dev, he obviously knows what he's doing. He's done this a million times, right?
Right.
There we go.
But let's assume it's just you or me. Any one of us in here today, there's 22 of us. Any one of us, we accept this mission. We go out, we finally find the place. How in the world do we know that that panel right there is the access panel we want, and how do we know where it is on this wreck?
We'd have to
How do
search
we
that.
know? We got to jump here.
It shows.
We got to crawl up here. We got to jump here. We got to jump here. We got to run over here, jump here, and then go here. How would we know this?
I think it shows you in blue from far away.
Right, there was an icon showing where it was, but getting
Yeah,
there,
but how do
you're
you
right.
know
You
that
have
the
to
only
figure
way
it
to
out.
get there is to crawl up here, jump here, do that?
You have to figure it
that's
out.
The thing.
That's the
You have
point.
to find your way up.
Yep.
You remember the complex puzzles they used to have in Monkey Island?
Yeah.
This reminds me of that.
Yeah.
How would I know how to get to this thing?
This was interesting too because I actually expected that when he opened this up, we were going to find what we were looking for, but we couldn't. It led even further that you had to do. Yeah.
The next question I have is he says, "Oh, it ain't here," but he knows where to go look to find out where it is.
Okay.
How are we supposed to know this? This is
There's
going
a
to
clue.
be
No, there's a clue. If you look at it, can you see there's a blue word there? Can you see it? It'll pop
Yep,
up as he
I
goes
see
down
it.
the thing. I guess evidently once he's done those two things, that lights up probably because it wasn't there
I'm
before.
just telling you, it's going to be real complicated, these missions. I'm loving it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, I'm not. This is not a complaint. This is like I'm really loving this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It can take me all day to do one mission. They better start paying more than 400 quid though.
You know it will.
Because in game right now, I don't hardly do any missions because they just ain't worth my while.
Now this was nice here, being able to see the use of. He's going to use the multi-tool coming up.
Look at the lighting in the shadows.
Oh, it's awesome, isn't it?
Yeah.
Incredible.
Now
It's
here
so
comes
real.
here comes the multi-tool. Red
So
Wolf is on.
realistic. Yeah.
Falls off.
Now there's the question. See, how would I know I need a multi-tool to cut that open?
But you know that's what the multi-tool does. Believe
Yeah, but
me.
how would you know that you have to cut it open? See, I would have stood there for 10 minutes trying to figure out how to get into it.
And eventually you'd have took the multi-tool out.
Yeah.
Oh, this is incredible. Absolutely incredible. I just love the atmospheric effects in the game now. They're so realistic.
It is. It looks really good.
And the sound, that the sound makes it. In case you people haven't been paying attention, like in 3.3 right now, the sound of the ship engines, thrusters, and weapons have all been changed. Oh my goodness, the sound is incredible.
They sound, oh my God. And it's going to get better. I have sound, what's that soundboard that I got in my computer? Sound Blaster, I think it is.
You know what's going to be great is the new flight model in 3.4, where it flies different in atmosphere. Can you imagine a ship like the Terrapin flying or the Prospector flying in atmosphere?
I'm looking forward to that, believe me. This is
Oh,
where
I
let me pause in here, guys. This is where his
Yeah.
ship starts being attacked. He's there by himself. Evidently someone else, Chris mentioned, must have gotten the mission as well, and they see that ship, and they decide to destroy it.
Yeah, see, you get paid 400 quid, but somebody blew up your ship.
Yep.
Yeah, really, that's serious loss, right?
Yeah.
Now, I love this. My strategy at this point, I hate to say it, I would have almost run up on that ship while it was landing, because I know they're not getting out.
Yeah, but he's got guns on that ship.
Yeah, but he can't see me. I'd have came from behind him and ran up on it, because you can see, you could actually come up from behind him.
They're just teasing a bit.
I know.
And I believe you just called your friend.
This is so incredible.
This was also nice because we got to see them use the cutlass in this particular scene, which is something that they hadn't used previously.
Just as a reminder, Griff, it's 37, 38 minutes before they release the Kraken.
Gotcha.
and everybody in here, a whole bunch of these people are going to want to go in and buy a Kraken.
Good luck to those who are buying them. I hope you're able to obtain one.
Yep.
Now, this was also a surprise, right? We weren't expecting to see this next ship, and this is when the Valkyrie is seen for the first time.
Yeah, coming to play.
Camera 2.
There it comes.
There's one of my favorite ships, the Cutlass Black. I love that ship.
Chris, can you go? Chris, go third person.
Yeah, my
There it
Cutlass
comes.
Black. There it comes.
Okay. So,
Of course, the most impressive thing for me was the old gun out the side door piece, which was just we saw that. I was like, wow.
For those who haven't seen it, that was the cockpit HUD of the Valkyrie. There you go.
So the Valkyrie's getting shot from the bottom from the bad guys.
Oh, look at that! Yeah.
Camera 2.
first straight to flyable ship. That
This
we've
is the
got.
part people like. Shoot 'em.
Anvil drop ship.
Did you know that they took this idea from the helicopters from Vietnam
And this will
with
I mean, this is a
with the
typical
miniguns?
strategy. I mean, this is a typical approach strategy for a not C-130. What's the airplane that has the gun on the right side out the door?
That's the C-130.
It's C-130, yeah.
Yeah, the Spectre.
Yeah, let's get rid of the
Yeah, the
back guy.
CIA had it done. They put a 50 caliber machine gun on the
Yeah.
side. That was it. That's what this is emulating.
It's called a
Camera
Spectre.
one, Glenn, where is
Has
it?
I like it.
Where are the
Looks
bad
good.
guys?
yeah.
Very.
Glenn
In
is
fact, they did a good job.
There we go.
So for those of you in,
That's 60
Gun is that he's
Gameplay.
using? Anybody know what gun he's using? I don't recognize that particular rifle.
I can
No.
see him on camera
there's
too.
so many of them anymore. It's hard to keep track.
I remember when they were testing it because it has that mechanical thing at the end that opens and closes, but I don't know the name of
I
it.
think we killed all the bad guys. Yes, we have. All right.
I
let's
saw
bring it
somebody
down.
in game yesterday. He had a shotgun and he says, "Hey, Cosmic, watch how it reloads," and it actually breaks open like a double barrel shotgun.
Yeah.
That was
This
cool.
rifle, it's the energy rifle.
I mean, which one though? I mean, there's so many of them now, like Cosmic said.
I don't know.
This is also nice. Again, the landing effects, the dusting off the ground is very nice.
Nice looking ship, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's a big rock.
Yeah, I really love that color, even though I know some people didn't like it. It's different.
That was a sitcom special color, wasn't it?
Yeah.
A Liberator, the Liberator color.
All right, somebody.
Well, you'll be able to paint it anything you want someday. Very nice though for for its purpose.
All right.
It's nice with the
There you
rover
go.
inside.
Do a little talkie.
There we go.
This is the buddy that he spoke to earlier when he was talking to with the VoIP, and he's was there back up. I love the view out the back door while the ramp is down.
You got the point plan. I was wondering if you said
Hey, buddy. Hey, how's it going?
yeah. Let's walk up to him and see if he's.
Thanks for the help, man. You're very welcome.
I don't know though, Griff. I just don't know about this game. I may just have to take this off my disc so I got room for line of defense.
Drop ship. Both
Now
sides
imagine,
of the
think about this, guys. Look at what we're seeing in detail, complexity for a game that isn't even gotten to beta. And this is the type of stuff that we're seeing already. So when you get people who say, "Is there any progress with Star Citizen? All you're doing is just buying these virtual ships and nothing's going on?" There's way more.
Yeah, Griffin, do you see the effect of the heat
Yep, coming off
out
the
of
engines.
engine?
Yep.
And I know we're all anxious to get a lot of our ships. I'm anxious to get my freelancer DUR and all the rest. But the truth is, they have to finish getting the ships that are going to be using Squadron 42 done first.
Absolutely.
Like this. You see,
Yeah.
this is going to be used in Squadron 42, so
Cos-
it has to get done.
Cosmic, talk about these two areas he's walking us through with the chairs, why those seats are there.
And then
Those
That's,
seats are there so you can put 20 Marines in there.
Yeah, 10 and 10. Is 10 one side and 10 on the other side.
See, this
There's
is an
two
assault vehicle. Think of this as an assault vehicle where the Marines, you put them on. Remember in World War II, you put them on a duck and you hit the beach, you dropped the door, and the Marines ran up the beach. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what
this-
this basically is for a space game. This is
Right.
the spec version of the World War II duck.
There was 2 rooms. Each room has 5 and 5, and then the next room has 5 and 5. So that's 20 chairs.
This is an assault craft that hits the beach. That's what this is.
Absolutely. All right, that was the end of part 2, guys. We're going to see our next commercial, and then we're going to come right back. So just bear with us here.
I hope you guys are enjoying all this, okay? And we got 33 minutes to wrap it up. Buy the Kraken.
Release the Kraken.
Yeah.
Time has come for something new. Something to change the game. When seeking fortunes at the fringes of civilization, you need someone you can trust. In this age of uncertainty, it's time to take back your strength. It's time to release the Kraken. Drake Interplanetary. We got your back.
It's all good stuff.
That's
that was
awesome.
the funny part. He goes back to work.
Hey, Griffin.
Sir.
Rear Intruder put in, those aren't really adverts. That's just their old guy toilet breaks.
Okay, so
that commercial was awesome.
It is. So we're back on the Valkyrie, and as you mentioned, those are our 2 compartments there for the Marines to be in, or whoever you're going to use for doing a drop.
There we go. So yeah, let's switch to player 6.
This is another great scene out the side door, or out the front door. Actually, this is looking out for where the gun, the turret gun is. And again,
the minigun, yeah.
The terrain here to me just looks awesome. I mean, this looks so good.
This is the view of the remote remote control gun.
I've been
from
on
the
this ship.
seat.
I've been on this ship so many times now. You know, in the turrets, flying it, whatever. And I got to tell you, it's a great drop ship. But this thing is just an absolutely terrific ship all around. This is a nice ship.
Yeah, this particular gun is not working yet because you have to sit inside the ship and access the gun, but it's not working yet.
I love the fact that they want them to shoot bullets, but they won't do it because they don't want to run out. They've had that happen before.
Yep.
Yeah.
Chris says bullets cost money.
We've run out of them testing. That's why we've got to the point now. Just do a quick burst, like, and that's it.
Yeah, they have to call ArchieFalcon to bring bullets in in his freelancer.
I mean, think about the
The
economy.
moral to take away here for CIG is they need more ammo on a ship like this.
Yeah. Well, here's the other side of the coin. I mean, think about the economy, though. I mean, most of the times people, when they play games, they're not thinking about, do I need to worry about how many rounds I fire off? You know, I appreciate the fact that, you know, you're not going to be just, you know, whoever's firing as that gunner for you. You don't want some guy who's just blowing through your bullets, you know, and your money's all being, you know, flying out the window. You want somebody who's accurate, who knows when to shoot, knows how to shoot, knows how to target. That's going to raise the level of standard of the type of people you want flying on your ship.
You know, Griffin, you brought up a very good point that just happened recently to a very dear friend of ours.
Hold your thought for 1 second, Cosmic. I want to talk about what's going to happen on the screen. Can you give some commentary to this with the attack on this ground attack?
Oh yeah, this is just terrific. They're going around taking out the ground defenses, kind of like in the Iraq War. You went around and took out the you know, the defenses so that whatever. So you got like anti-aircraft guns down here. You got to take them out first. That's what he's doing.
Now, this is the thing that I loved. This blew my mind when they let this when they shot this rover out the back. I was done.
Yep. Incredible, isn't it? That's what this ship's built for.
Yeah.
And this is
Take
We
out
had
the
never
defense, put the Marines on the ground,
And
man.
we'd never seen that done with a tumbril until now. That just made it a tumbril well worth its money when you saw that.
Yep, boots on the ground. Man, I love playing with them tumbrils. Those things are terrific. They're a lot of fun.
They take a beating. They take a beating.
They do indeed, but they're a lot of fun.
I think we got rid of all of them.
all the AA. All right.
Yep.
So
Yeah. Look at that turret gun.
Oh. We did improve the
I
route.
was out with
Don't
Archie
run
not
over
too
every
long
single
ago
one
in
of
the
them.
turret of one of them things, and I was getting seasick. He kept hitting so many boulders.
Believe it.
Yeah.
Continuation of the mission. So another type of
Archie.
missions that we have in
Oh,
Mission
well, I
3,
was having fun.
Yeah, we both
More
were.
Hurston, actually more Hurston, is,
That's the purpose of the game.
So
Well, all the
this is a very
guns are
first
down.
example of
Again, you think about the coordination it takes to do these missions too. I mean, this isn't just, if you notice, they're very focused about what they're doing. This isn't people just running around shooting. You know, they're being very meticulous about how they're approaching this. The guy who's out with the Valkyrie is hovering. He's bringing the ship down after these guys have cleared the ground targets.
You guys are too good a shot.
Well, he's flying around keeping.
I like the VTOL. That's nice.
Yes, the
Yeah,
VTOL is
yeah.
awesome on that ship.
A nice effect.
All right, well, let's go in down to the facility.
Oh, by the way, the Valkyrie is still for sale, and it's a 5% discount today.
Blade, we know you want your Carrack, brother. I got one too, but give it a year at least.
We all want the Carrack.
Now,
But
this
it'll
is
be
also-
worth waiting for.
This is awesome too. Seeing an underground facility, I thought was really nice.
We're going to go down.
Yep.
Yeah,
Look
look
how
at that.
deep it is.
We're going to go.
And look at the atmosphere change from clear to musty. You know, inside a cave.
I was impressed by how deep down it was.
Yeah.
And this lends itself to something else we talked about a long time ago, Cosmic. As we're seeing that this universe and how large this universe is being, that Chris is creating, it's no small task to find these places. You know, it's not like these places are always obvious. It would have been very easy to fly over this installation if you were high enough. You know what I mean?
You'd never see it.
Yep.
And for what it's worth, this underground installation itself is larger game-wise than almost every game you play.
Cooperative.
Just this underground installation.
Currently, I think it's
Oh, here's the play where you depend on your partner to back you up.
So this is our first pass on it.
It's absolutely
It's been working
incredible.
very hard.
It's
on
also
getting
the first time that we actually saw them do a gunfight with NPCs. Normally, there were other staff that would be firing against them, but these were NPCs this time.
You guys want to practice that in 3.3, by the way. Go out to the Korea security station, go inside, and hang around for 5 to 10 minutes. A bunch of NPCs dressed in yellow spacesuits will come try to kill you, and you can have a lot of fun, you know, shooting them first. Okay?
Oh,
I know people that do that every day.
Nice.
So you can do this right now out in Security Station Korea. There's all kinds of stuff you can do.
In your face.
Ed, your Crucible is coming about the same time as our Carrack. You got a little while to go still. Actually, your Crucible's going to get there before the Carrack.
While we were talking about this, it reminded me quickly. Before 3.3 came out, I couldn't really play Star Marine because I was struggling at like 18 to 20 frames a second. When I go out to play Star Marine now, that sucker is anywhere from 80 to 120 frames a second, and it's wonderful.
Nice.
Yeah.
So if you guys in 3.3 haven't went out and played Star Marine, get to it. It's a lot better.
This particular scenario here brings me back on the game Planetside, where you had to shoot. It was a first FPS game in the planet.
You notice how the rooms, the color changes, the atmosphere, the smoke, everything. It's just incredible.
And this also shows the level of work that they're putting in. You know, the question always asks, why are things taking so long? But when you start looking at the level of detail that they're putting into these areas, my God, it's no small task to create this.
Yeah, it's incredible.
It brings you. It's a psychology. I mean, you go to a place like this and you expect to have wire all over the place, and the atmosphere looks muggy and dusty. That's the board that he was looking for.
Drop point in Lowville.
Yes, to get paid.
To get paid.
Object completed.
I think as he exits here, there's another NPC that decides to pop up.
Yeah, look at that dust. Look at that dust.
And in the future, Tony Zurvik was explaining about your crime levels. He was specifically talking about crime levels 4 and 5. 4 being something like, how long would you be in prison? Whether it's a half an hour or 2 days or whatever, depends on your crime. And level 5 was they will ban you from a whole system for a period of time, okay? So, for example, if you're in the Stanton system and you create a certain level of crime, you could be banned out of that system for anywhere from 1 hour to 1 month.
Yeah, I wonder if you're going to be able to collect weapons as you go.
As if someone else drops their weapon, will you be able to pick it up?
And the NPC as well.
I don't know about NPC weapons. That's interesting. I don't know.
There'll probably, like most games, be a limit on how many of certain items you can have. But yeah, this is just becoming. It's worth the wait. Gentlemen, you got to admit this to yourself. You don't have to admit it to us, but to yourself. Wasn't this worth waiting for? Especially with decent frame rate.
Yeah. And on top of this, Cosmic, you have to remember your way out.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be cool?
You know?
Do you know, I was joking right after I watched this. Right after CitCon was over, I came into Discord and was talking to people, and one of the comments I made to them was, I'm in trouble because that guy got out of the habitat. He walked through the station. He took a subway train to get somewhere just to get his ship to get out of there. I'm lost. How do I get back to my habitat?
The other thing that's interesting, I think, is about this. If you notice, this was a mission that took multiple people to do. To do this as one person would have been a lot. You know,
you'd have got killed.
Yeah. You can understand why. And we keep trying to emphasize the fact that I know a lot of times we've been used to playing games solo so much, and we don't understand that Chris is literally trying to promote the idea of playing with other people. Sure, there'll be some things you can do solo, but I think he really is. That's the reason why there's so many varieties of ships, so many different types of careers, so that we will get used to this whole thing of cooperatively playing and not just going into a game and I can do this whole mission by myself, which I know a lot of us are used to, but I think Star Citizen is going to change that for a lot of us.
Yeah, it's gonna need teamwork.
Two options. There's a military version, but that's...
Well, we're doing the multiplayer now almost all the time. Even if it's not multiplayer on board a ship, it's escorting ships.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're doing it almost every day now.
And
I hardly know anybody that wants to go out and play, just solo anymore. It's like I said, I went out with Daredevil yesterday, and I was just a crew member on his Vanguard. Together we went out, and the best part was we were both averaging in the mid-70s FPS. Incredible.
Think about for this mission, I think they have 3 people that are doing this. There's the person who's piloting the ship. There was the guy in the back who's opening and closing the ramp door, and he's driving the rover.
Look at the road down there.
Character. Oh yeah, and that road follows all the way back, they said.
Yeah.
So think about that. It took 3 people to accomplish this mission.
Incredible.
I don't know if those are roads. I'll ask Ian.
Yeah, look at the roads everywhere.
Yeah, there's built-in.
Chris is talking about
trails,
it now.
yeah.
Chris
trails.
is talking about it now. No, they're roads. These ain't trails. Those are roads. Chris is talking about it.
Those are roads. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Listen.
Is in for the procedural planet setup that we aren't using just yet. It just sort of came online, so we're going to start to.
As long as it took him to fly out there with an airplane, imagine how long that would take if he were driving down that road.
I love that shot of the ship there. That is a great shot.
It's a beautiful ship, actually.
How's it going?
Yeah, Bamboo, I agree.
It's what? All cooperative play? Yeah. That's where the fun is. A game like this is meant to go out and play with your buddies. That's the whole fun of it.
6, please.
I remember when this whole thing came up with them putting trails, vapor trails on the ships, and people cried like crazy because they thought that these vapor trails were just going to be something that looked either too cartoonish or give away too much about the ship's location. But I think they have found the perfect mesh for how to use these. It looks natural. At the same time, it's a good visual indicator, but not so much that it takes away from the game to me.
Do you know they're still working on that? They in 2 patches ago, they actually had to correct the vapor trail to the Avenger. Did you know that?
Nope.
The Avenger turns so well that if you made a real fast turn, the vapor trail would cut through the hull.
Early implementation of.
I love the engine effects on this ship too. You'll notice as he's doing boosts and stuff. It's pretty nice. The lighting on this is amazing. What they're coming up with, the surface of the planet bouncing off the ship. You feel like almost like it's a late afternoon kind of thing at this time.
Yep.
Scorching heat.
Something that a lot of us have noticed in 3.3, and we started noticing it about 2 weeks ago. The visuals, the graphics, without us doing anything to our computers. The visuals and the graphics of your ship, your terrain, everything is brighter, crisper, sharper, and clearer. They've done something. I don't know exactly what they've done, but the whole game is just crisper and sharper. Have you noticed it, Griff?
Archie? Absolutely.
Yeah, I've noticed it.
I think they've reached their destination, and they're about to set down.
Drop-off point is
Yep,
right by
there it
you,
is.
so rather than
Look
fly
at
all the
this.
way in
He
and
mentioned specifically that it's outside of the landing zone. He can't take the ship in there.
the perimeter, we're going to land out here because we can't go in close.
Yeah, what did he say? There was like 10 outside gates or something.
Right.
Because there's gate 2 and gate 3, see?
Yep.
Man, it's incredible, isn't it?
We put the
Look at-
rover back to use again.
Yeah. Look at the dust. Look at the dust when you go down.
Again, that was us using the void.
We've done this in the game, taking something out there and landed a ways off and then taking a rover and drove there.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is so cool to be able to do things like this.
Player 3.
Yep.
No, we are on player 3 now.
Oh,
He changed.
sorry.
He was in his third person view.
Scott. There you go.
Yeah, so Planetside used to be like this. But this is way better.
And I'm gonna give you something else. You better make sure who can drive for you knows how to drive, because there are some people who literally they cannot do directions well at all.
So again, this sort of gives you an idea of the.
Also, I will mention to you, the planets are all different sizes, pretty much,
Right.
And you know that in Star Citizen, at Chris Roberts' insistence, everything is based on real life, but to 1/6 scale.
Yep.
Right? Based on that, the planet Hurston, which you're going to have within a month, is exactly 1/6 the size of the planet Earth. So Hurston, the planet, is based on the planet Earth.
Wow.
It's just 1/6 the scale. So you can imagine how long it's going to take you if you're flying around it, okay?
Yeah.
A few days.
Meet you there.
Okay, so he's done his drop off, or he's getting ready to do his drop off.
I love these little tumbrils. These things are terrific.
They take a beating.
This is him approaching gate 2.
Yeah, and the outskirts of Lorville.
So he couldn't fly.
you know,
He couldn't fly the Valkyrie in.
different areas. This
So
is
he
where
had to come
the
into
chances
in a
are.
vehicle.
So these are people that have been pushed out of the inner city, but people still hanging
Yeah.
outside gates, sell their wares.
A lot of it, though, let's face it, it was to show us how you could do all this.
Right.
Land and then take the rover, take the tumbril, then walk in and do your stuff. Yeah. But it's a cool effect. It's incredible. I know people that have watched this trailer, a dozen times.
This is the, I think, number 10 for me.
Yep. Those of you watching it for the first time, I hope you're enjoying
I
it.
think one of the nice things with Star Citizen,
Even with our commentary.
that you get.
Yeah.
Look how big that building is. And that's nothing compared to the, what's that, city planet that we're going to get?
I like the guy standing there with that machine gun.
Yeah. There was another one on the other side.
Takes me back to the 70s when I was in the Philippines under martial law.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
All right, here comes customs. Hey, I got a question. Here's give you $50 if you'd let me pass with my gun. They try to bribe a customs officer.
Oh, they have these stations now that we've seen them placed in the rest stop, where when you do finish up a mission and you have to drop off something, they have you dropping off in these drop boxes. Even though the mission was given from a mission giver, ultimately this is where you had to put the item that you had to find.
Well, these drop boxes are going to be all over the place.
doesn't like
Right.
to get his hands dirty.
Yeah.
Gladestone.
Gladestone.
Yeah, go ahead.
I wonder how long they worked on this. What year did they start at Hurston?
Okay, the truth about it is, a lot of planets have been basically, the basics have been done, the planet, okay? But then what they've been doing for over a year, close to a year and a half, is working on development tools. And almost every week on Ask the Dev or something, they tell you a little bit about different development tools. And what they've done, Gladestone, is they've made all these tools so they can go in now and add terrain. They can add flora and fauna. They can add this, color effects, smoke effects, whatever they want. And they can add stuff in here like this, fencing or whatever. They can add it in very, very quickly now. So even though the basic blob of Hurston was done, the big rock, let's say, going in to make the city, going in to make this and going in to make that, didn't take all that long. Okay, because they have the development tools now to do this. That's why I said earlier, you're going to see a lot more content coming every 3 months now because they can do this now.
Need to cut in for a second. We just missed it, but this is where the train part came up at, where Chris and them were trying to get there late. And I also want to talk about at the very end of the mission, once he placed the item into the box, it gave a report saying that the mission was completed, and the payment information also popped up as well.
And once you completed a mission like that, your reputation goes up.
Depending on who you're doing the work for, whether
Right.
it's criminal or whether it's something that's lawful. So we're returning back the way we came on the train again.
And Lorville is the city.
Dang, I love the train in here. This is better than I dreamed. And I didn't think we were going to get this train business for at least next summer.
Yeah, longer, I agree. Yeah, I didn't expect this either.
Oh, this is incredible.
It's real physics because near objects run faster than objects further away. And that's real physics.
Did you know that one of the devs that helped make this train was actually disappointed? Did you know that?
Why?
Because originally, when he was laying the track, there's a bar that we can, that bar that they showed us where you go in and get a drink?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, he had a section of the bar where you could go to the table and sit down and look out the window, and this train went by so that you could look out and see the people in the bar, and they could be sitting in there watching you go by. And for some reason, Chris Roberts took that out.
Okay.
Oh man.
Can you imagine how cool that would have been?
Yeah.
They talked about this train, and they said that this train actually runs much further than this. It goes to 2 other locations. For the demonstration, they only had it go to one of the locations, but
It probably goes to the other landing zones.
right.
doesn't it?
Yep, that's what they said. It goes to the other 2 landing zones. Yep.
There's supposed to be 6 major subway lines, each one longer than this one when you get to Terra Prime.
Mm-hmm.
So you might have to take four long
Changes,
subway
right.
rides to get to the other end of the city.
Yep.
This game
Because-
is incredible.
Because they're not going to allow you to fly.
You're looking forward to City Bopping now, Archie.
Well, yeah. City bopping.
I've been telling you about it for years. Yeah.
City bopping, guys. City bopping.
And we're going to have lots of cities, little communities. I'm
All
looking forward
aboard.
to the little outposts. That'll be fun.
Okay.
Yeah. Look at this.
We're in the L1
Yeah.
area, aren't we?
Yeah, we're in L19.
L19, so we're just going to hop the train.
Hey, Shive.
We're going to hop the train to the spaceport.
What shy type?
The ship dealer.
I'm not here to take from this old people.
Transfers to the
Oh, who you-
perimeter, spaceport, and industry lines.
Our friends on the front of that.
Now, there was something else that got introduced in this presentation, and that was economics. We all know that the money, the way we've been using credits and things right now, has just been a placeholder. There's nothing set in stone in relation to that. But later on, they're going to show us about renting ships, and we're going to see prices. And we can talk about that when we come out, but I just want to make sure everybody pays attention to what the
So
costs are to
eventually,
rent those
what
ships
wanna
when
do
we
is
see it.
Basically, Glenn, can you look at the map real quick? Behind you.
Train arriving in 110 seconds.
There's
That's
the map.
another
There's
line.
the transit. That's the transit system map, Zone 1. And they said that ultimately you're going to actually be able to see where the trains are on that map when
Oh,
you
right
look at
there.
it.
That's the map right there.
10, 9, 8.
8 seconds, 7 seconds before it pops in.
It's incredible, isn't it? You know, that looks a lot like the London Underground maps.
Yeah.
This is based on the London Underground, from what I heard.
It's like a 50.
Surprised.
Yep, that's one
It's
of the devs said.
30-second wait.
It is.
Yep.
That's
Then
the
again,
two.
Chris and Aaron grew up here in
30
England,
then,
so yeah.
Or if it was 20, we wouldn't have made the last one.
Really?
Yeah.
That was pretty.
Welcome, Shive. Nice to have you in here, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Person security reserves the right to search travelers at any time.
Speaking of the economy, Griffin, our buddy Stingray went flying out to the rest stop yesterday, and he ran out of fuel.
Uh-huh.
So there's part of the thing I've been trying to stress to people too.
Yeah.
Practice now. See, now you can log out of the game and log back in, and your ship has fuel again. 4 months from now, if you go somewhere and run out of fuel, you're going to be sitting there for a while waiting for somebody with a starter to come help you.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
you best get it. You best get it straight now, fellas, while it's free.
Those are going to be the things that you mentioned, just the things that you're going to have to pay attention to. You'll have to do checks on your ship. If you land your ship somewhere, just like when a plane lands, a pilot or co-pilot gets out and does a walk around. They look at the ship to make sure that it's okay. If you've had some type of conflict, you may go outside and find that a part of a wing is missing or an engine is damaged. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of just that kind of upkeep maintenance things that you got to look for.
Yep,
Yeah, you got to keep track of your fuel level. There's 2 fuel levels that you have to keep track.
Less than-
Quantum and,
Sessions up.
Less than 4 minutes to the Kraken releases.
yeah, release the Kraken.
Yeah, don't break your legs.
Okay, so now he's back where he came from.
I love the billboards.
Just looking at the amount of detail as he's walking through here, I mean, there's a lot of care that's going into this. It's not just, let's just put any old thing down.
I like how the atmospherics change.
Look how clear and crispy clear the some rooms are in some
50.
areas.
50
There's the
sitting
ship
there.
dealer.
Well, that's the M50 sitting there as a display.
New deals.
And also buy ships.
And this is where they stop, I think.
It's got to go a little bit further. They're going to go to the New Deal place where the ships are, and it's going to wrap up after that. So we're approaching this place, and it's coming up in a second for you guys, called New Deal. And this is where they evidently can either buy or rent ships from.
Use it, figure it out. So here's the New Deal. A couple of obviously ships that are coming in 3-3.
So, by the way, we don't know when. Probably a couple weeks. We'll let you know. There'll be another test zone before too long. The next one we'll probably be discussing a whole bunch of ships and gameplay and stuff like that. So it's your chance to get in here and chat to each other and to us all about the ships and stuff. Okay, guys?
So here,
look at my dear Connie. Is this the Phoenix?
That's the Phoenix. They're going to show the Hammerhead is next to it.
And the Hammerhead.
I want to make sure we see these prices now because I want to be able to talk about it when we get out of here. And of course, these aren't final.
I think the Avocado just started.
I love the Hammerhead. Wow.
Yeah, that is some gunship, I tell you.
Those turrets are deadly.
But you
21 million to rent that thing. That's to rent.
Yeah.
To buy though. What do you think, Cosmic?
There you go. 21.4.
That's to buy.
Is that to
that's
buy?
the sale price.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the sale price.
Show what the price is on the Phoenix. Do show it, or they show it. I know there's another ship. They show it on the Prospector for sure.
Yeah, and they show the Aurora too. I was shocked by the Aurora.
Yeah.
So you take an average mission, and you divide it by the amount of, and it tells you how many missions.
Hey, Archie,
but those mission night prices are nowhere near right now, Archie. There's no way.
Well,
we're
let me
not
put it to you this way: to buy the Hammerhead, it's 21.4 million.
Yeah.
That guy just spent over an hour, and he had to help him, and he lost his ship. He shot a lot of ammo, used a lot of fuel, and he got paid 400 credits.
So you know that ain't right.
This will take you 60 years to buy an Aurora.
Yeah.
We know that is not right. Absolutely. Okay,
Nah,
let's
it's
see.
not gonna-
Okay, look at that.
It's gonna get better.
That's $515,000 for that 85X.
Which is the Aurora.
Credits.
220,000. No, the 85X is
616.
we get a prospect.
The Aurora cracks me up, though.
Point
Look at
six
that,
for
a
a
quarter of a
Prospector.
million for an Aurora,
Oh my God.
and they're paying 400 a whack for an hour's worth of work. I went out today and did 2 cargo runs in 3.3, and I made over. And it took me less than an hour to do both cargo runs.
Yeah.
Look at the Prospector, gentlemen.
Well,
1.6 million.
Yep. 1.6.
Yeah.
We've done a mission in
That's a lot of quartz.
That is going to be in 3-3.
Guys, it is right on the top of the hour for those of you all who are Wave 7 for the Kraken.
Release the Kraken and good luck to you.
Good luck, guys.
Go take a quick look and see if you're going to be able to get it.
Go to your email and click the link.
If you receive an email, you are guaranteed because
But you got to click the link at the bottom of your email.
right, you got to click that link. Don't go trying to buy the Kraken through the normal ways. You have to find your email and press that link.
So Chris is wrapping up here. We're going to go ahead and go back to the studio real quick. Really appreciate both Archie and Cosmic giving some commentary here, and especially the questions you guys asked in relation to 3.3, 3.35, which is coming up, and even some stuff about 3.4. I do want to ask about this economy thing, and Archie, you mentioned a good point. You say, well, you're going to have to do this division and add up how many missions do you have to do to get to something. But I want to assure people that, again, the prices that we're seeing, nothing is in stone. So don't, if you see $21 million, you know, for a Hammerhead, it may not be that price. It may be something entirely different later, but they're going to work through the economy ultimately so that obviously it should be challenging, but I don't think they want to make such a grind that it's virtually impossible to get a ship. But we don't want ships to be easily gotten either. For those people who've invested and backed the game, you know, there's a sacrifice there, and so they may have those ships, and we don't want people within 1 week later they're coming out with an Idris, you know, and someone else spent $1,500 for an Idris. They've already made that very clear.
Right.
But building up that process of building up the money that you're going to need, or the credits that you're going to need to be able to buy something, is going to be really exciting in the game. You guys got anything? Archie?
Yeah, just
Oh,
a,
by the
just a
way,
second.
Oh, okay.
by the way, Montoya announced that Test made the World Book of Records, Guinness Book of Records, as the largest guild in the world.
In all gaming, yep.
Yep, they're waiting for the
Thanks
official.
bringing that up, Archie.
Yeah, they're waiting for the official notification on it, but there was the word that was given that the same week that we were there for CitizenCon, that they received notice from Guinness Book, World Book. Again.
One thing I would like to say, with your permission, Griffin, if I may. Ladies and gentlemen over here, we all love ArchieFalcon. He's a really terrific guy. Okay, but his soulmate and his better half, Daisy's in Puerto Rico watching this. We're thrilled to death that she took time out to come watch us and to be part of our family. So we're happy. Everybody, please put a thumbs up for Daisy. Okay, give Daisy an 07, would you?
Awesome.
You're an honorary test member, Daisy. We love you.
Yeah, I told her that. She's.
That is awesome. We're going to go to our last clip here, which I think everybody's going to, you know, of course, embrace and love. We're going to come back and talk about it for a quick second, then we're going to wrap up for the night. So hope you guys are ready for this. Here we go.
Yeah.
I saw you apply to the Flight Academy again.
I'm your new wingman, sir.
The coil. Local scum use it for cover to launch attacks. This is their turf, so move when I'm moving. Keep your eyes open.
No sudden moves.
Who the hell are you?
We're OMC. And OMC belongs to CitizenCon. Is that your boss? Are we supposed to be scared of him or something? Yeah.
The OMC aren't the only ones listening into comms.
All ships, we're under attack by Vandal forces. Repeat, we are under attack.
There have been battles. There have been losses. Each and every one of you has proven yourself time and again. We will not lose the system. We will not fall back.
Form up, Cal. You got a point. Copy that. Tally's on me. Let's say aye.
We will win. Because we have to.
Wow is all I can. That's all I can say to that is wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Terrific.
Um,
Did you hear the sound effects? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, pretty amazing. 2 years ago, Archie will remember this, and Cosmic you will too. CitCon 2016, there was a lot of anticipation to see what was called a vertical slice for Squadron 42, and unfortunately, it didn't happen, and there was a lot of disappointment. Last year, we did get a taste of an opening sequence, or a sequence, I should say, that included Mark Hamill. But this is probably the most in-depth thing that we've seen. They're closest to a trailer that we've seen. And we also saw some new celebrity faces in this trailer that Chris said that they had been basically keeping under wraps for a while, and that there are even more celebrities that we don't know about that will ultimately be in Squadron 42. What did you guys think of the trailer? You think it's pretty cool?
Yeah, I thought it was great myself. I loved it.
Yeah, the first time I saw it, it's nice that Chris used real actors like Mark Hamill and what are the other guys that he used?
Oh, there's John Rice Davies was in there.
Yeah.
Real pop, everybody knows him from the Indiana Jones movies and other stuff too. I mean, there's a lot of people that they have in there. Gillian Anderson is in there. I can't think of the guy's name who played Superman last. He's in there now. That was the new face that we saw this time around.
Right.
So yeah, it's nice that they're bringing these
Griffin
actors.
Shive would like you to look straight at the camera and give him a great big smile.
I don't know if I want to do that, because Shive might do something with the picture. I don't know if I trust him with that. But yeah, I mean, again, this is moving us towards Squadron 42. I'm going to throw us out on the real deep end with this last question. I'm going to ask Archie, and I'm going to ask Cosmic, because people always ask it. When do you think Squadron 42 realistically will be out to the public? Either one of you guys want to try to put a prediction on it?
Prior to Christmas next year.
Yeah.
You're looking for a release, or are you looking for the trailer with an announcement? Which one?
I'm looking that it'll release the end of December next year.
What, 50 missions or the first 5 missions?
No, you mean just the first episode of it. Is that what you're saying?
The first 5 missions.
Is that what you think, Archie? Christmas next year?
By next year, yeah.
Christmas next year? Okay.
You do know that you'll be getting like 5 missions every 2 to 3 months.
Absolutely.
So when it launches, it'll only launch with 5 missions initially.
I'm kind of feeling that might happen. I'm thinking we'll see the trailer in October for the next CitizenCon when they're in the UK, and then we'll definitely see it by end of year. It would be a great time for them to do it during the holidays and stuff. So, yeah, we're getting there, guys. We're getting there.
Yeah, if they get it done, which I think they will, because they're working real hard now on finishing up ships and everything that's the assets that go in it. Okay.
Yeah.
That would be a great time to do it. And like you say, they could preview it a little bit in October and then slap it to us in December, go away for 2 weeks and let us have it. Because it's an offline, a standalone thing. It's a great thing. Yeah, I think that would be when it's going to happen.
Awesome. Okay, you guys heard it here. We predicted it. December of next year, right around the holiday time. I'm predicting trailer at CitizenCon 2949. Anyway, hey. Yeah, go ahead, Cosmic.
Also, as we're going in quarterly increments right now, let's see, 3.4, 3.5, 3.6. I think around about the same time, the end of 2019 or in the first quarter of 2020, I think we'll be in beta testing for the persistent universe.
Okay. Cosmic, do you think will 4.0 equal beta testing, or will that still be alpha?
4.0 will still be alpha to this effect. The 3-point series is getting, wait a minute. We're going into 3.4, 3.5, 3.6. That's the Stanton system, one system.
Okay.
When we hit 4.0, that is when they introduce the second system with a jump gate. And we have to test the technology of jumping from one system to another. And then they'll add 3 more systems, and we'll be jumping between 5 systems. Okay. When that's all settled, and they got all the major bugs out of that, then we go to beta testing.
Okay, gotcha. So Microtech and what's the other one? Those two will be in 4.0. That's when we got to
Kirsten's next, then ArcCorp. They're all in the 3-point series.
Okay, ArcCorp and
the entire 3-point whatever is the Stanton system until we have the Stanton system finished.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. Gotcha.
When they give us another system, and right now they have 3 of them. They don't know which one they're going to give us. They originally said Nix. That's probably what it'll be.
Okay.
But when they give us another system and a jump gate, that will be 4.0.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, again, it's time for us to wrap up. We know the show went a little long today, but that's because the keynote was long, but we wanted to make sure we had time to go through it and talk with you guys. We appreciate everybody who hung out with us today, this afternoon. For those of you who got Krakens, congratulations. For those of you who didn't get Krakens, be ready to sign up to work on one, because it's going to be a great ship. Those of you who bought Valkyries, hope you guys enjoy that. To my co-host, Archie. As always, thank you, Archie, for the pictures that you submitted.
Is that it?
That's it, man. It's time to go. Man. We've been on here 2 hours.
We're having fun.
It is time to get.
Ladies and gentlemen, I got to say this. I got to put my plug in. We got a lot of Test Squadron streamers. We all promote them. We all love them. What I want you guys to do, and your streamers and you YouTubers, start promoting Griffin Gaming RPG and ArchieFalcon. Get more people in here. Let's get this up to 200-300 people in here, okay? Come on, guys. They work hard.
Well, thank you, Cosmic.
Give them some love. Give them some love.
And thank you for Cosmic. CosmicTrader is our sage of Test Squadron. He's our information source. He's our guy that tells us when we're wrong.
They said you're not pretty enough. They said you're not pretty enough.
We're not pretty enough.
I know.
We got to work on that then.
We'll have to work on it. But again, from the truck stop and from those of us at Test Zone, we appreciate you guys coming. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of the weekend, and we will see you in the verse. Take it easy, gang.
Thanks for joining us tonight.
Yeah. Okay. Take care, guys. Yeah.
Good night, everyone.